Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome in. Happy Tuesday. How are y'all doing today? Hi, Lilac. Thank you for redeeming your park insurance. And also, hi, Crystal. How are you doing today? So today we're gonna kind of do a little bit of a repeat, a little bit of a repeat of what I was talking about yesterday with Phobos, because while yeah, we went over some of the stuff about all the Zoids news and everything, but it was mostly just the two of us just talking it out rather than actually like showing you guys any like clear visuals of what we're talking about, because well, we were just kind of just shooting the shit and just panel lining, which honestly though, guys, honestly, I I'm not gonna lie, I actually kind of enjoyed that. If I'm gonna be real with you, like, if I'm gonna be real with you guys, I kind of enjoyed that. So maybe later on in the future, maybe we'll do more of those where we just kind of just sit down and just like just shoot the shit and just like either like painting or panel lining or something like that. But yeah, no, we'll figure something out. We'll figure something out. You're doing okay? Well, I'm glad you're doing okay, Lilac. I'm glad. And also, let's see here, Crystal says, did scare me. Well, you know, I try. I honestly do try. So actually, no, that's the funny thing is that I actually wanted to. So like for my original design as a VTuber is that I actually wanted to look as imposing and scary as possible. But it just didn't turn out that well. So also, thank you for sharing your five stream streak. Nice, let's go. Which is cackle. I see, the only time I could really do the cackle is if I do Skeletor. But yeah, so like I also kind of want to go over the trailer for the new Jurassic World game, and also Lilac, thank you so much for your five stream streak. Thank you. Also, thank you for headpats. Thank you. But yeah, so we're gonna kind of go over some of the Zoid news today, and then we're also gonna watch we're gonna watch the new Zoids animation that came out, because there is an actual animation that they released along with all the news that they just like straight up just dropped on us. So let me actually look at the official Zoids Twitter real quick and find it for you guys. Okay, hang on, there we go. All right, so I found it, but let me go ahead and just pull them up in individual little tabs so that way you guys can see what I'm talking about. Because like I said, we went over it yesterday with Phobos, but we didn't actually like go over it. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't actually like fully go over it. And it's a lot. It's a lot to kind of go over. I'm gonna be honest with you. So let me see here. Okay. So, and then like afterwards we'll watch some spooky stuff. You know, we'll watch some spooky stuff. That's actually why I got my little witch hat. I actually got this, I think I got this witch hat from like last year. And it's really the only thing for right now. It's the only thing that is Halloween theme I have at the moment. Or fall theme, I should say. But hopefully next year I should have something that's fall related to go with the new outfit. But yeah. So let me see here. Okay, so let us look at the first piece of news, because I think these are part of the... I think these are part... Oop, hang on. I think these are part of the pop-up store that's been popping around. Because, so last year, not Japan, but I think Takara Tomy decided that they wanted to launch a Zoids pop-up store kind of tour as part of their anniversary line. And so here we have some of the merchandise. So we have some hoodies and some shirts. So here, I mean, like, it's pretty standard fare. So we got the, I think that's the Genosaur over there. AZ-12 is Genosaur, and also the Zoids logo right here. Mic check, mic check. There we go. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so here we have like some of the shirts. So we have more, well, we got more of them. So from what it looks like, they're doing a lot of like, what I'm assuming is either, if I want to scan this, if I want to like, that's really not gonna help, because I think this one over here is, I want to say that's the Death Soar. I don't know what that is over there. That one, I'm assuming that's, I'm going to assume that's the Death Soar. I'm going to assume. Also, hang on real quick. There we go. Okay. So yeah, these are officially new drawn illustration long sleeve shirts. Okay, so these are in the Japan Model Hobby Store. So these are probably long gone, and the aftermarket for these are going to be pretty steep. Now, these are also in Japanese sizes as well. So, I guess the rule of thumb is that if you want to order this stuff, it is, I want to say, like, it's either a size above or two what you usually wear. So, like, if you're someone like me who wears a large, I think you usually have to go for like a extra large or a or like an extra large, if I'm remembering this correctly. But so yeah, those are going to be the shirts. Next one is, so this one just popped up. So this one is the this is their second Zoid in the Adamas Machina line. So this here is the Blade Liger. So the Adamas Machina line is basically just like, they're not model kits, they're figures. They're just straight up figures. And, they're really high quality from what I could tell. So far the first one in the line is the Berserk Fuhrer. Now this one is the Blade Liger. So the one thing I will say about this particular interpretation of the Blade Liger, I like it except for the head. I don't know what it is with the head, but to me, the head looks a little off. You know what I'm saying? I think the head is just a tiny bit off. I feel like the head is just, I would say probably just a little too big. And then also maybe the feet and the legs look a little too big. It looks like the body is really tiny in proportion to like the head. But also, we don't really know, I don't think we know too much about this outside of these two images. Yeah, so Steel God Adamas Machina. So that's going to be the Blade Liger, and I think it's going to be released sometime next year. I'm probably going to get their Fuhrer this year for my birthday, but we'll see. Speaking of the Fuhrer, so this one right here is their Adamas Machina Berserk Fuhrer. But this is their Berserk Fuhrer in their new CAS armor. So this is the Sturm Tyrann, so the Storm Tyrant in German. So Storm Tyrant armor. It's basically just like a high-speed, close-quarter combat version of the Fuhrer. And then we have the Jagd Fuhrer, which is probably my favorite armor set for the Berserk Fuhrer. I don't know if I really like the giant honkin' Halo Mjolnir Gungnir style visor or camera on its head. I don't know if I really care for it too much. I feel like that's a little overkill. But also, I kind of just want this one, but it seems like it seems like you do have to get these in a 2-set. And from what I've seen from like Big Bad Toy Store, they are about the same as a baseline Adamas Machina Fuhrer. But that's also Big Bad Toy Store, so reminds me of also, hi Irish, how you doing? Revolver Dragon, I think it is. Revolver Dragon. Yeah, it does kind of go hard, but I do kind of think that that's a little much. I don't know. I think it's just like, because you already have like these big two giant fucking cannons right here. I think that I do think like that's a little much. If they trimmed that off, I think that would have been fine, or reduce it a little bit. I think that'd be okay. But outside of that, like, that's just a minor nitpick. Yeah, Revolver Dragon. Yeah, I will say this is that I am very old school Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, I want to sit here and say that my knowledge of Yu-Gi-Oh goes, I want to say up to, I think, GX. Yeah, so basically when I was a little dino back in like the early 2000s, I, like every other kid, played Yu-Gi-Oh. And then I kind of fell off after the initial series, so like after the whole Yami Yugi arc and all that kind of stuff, and then GX rolled around is when I kind of fell off. And then like I kind of poked my head back in like maybe a couple years ago, and then I'm just like, what the hell are all of these rules? What the fuck is a... Because like I barely understand what a tuner and a synchro is. I don't know what a pendulum is. I don't know what hand traps are. I don't know what half of these new mechanics are, and it's so goddamn complicated. It's so complicated. I'm like, I dip potato chip out of Yu-Gi-Oh, and I haven't looked back since. Here we have the Advanced Zoid series. 5Ds was epic. Which one was 5Ds? Is that the one where they're on motorcycles? Because that's the last time I ever really knew anything about Yu-Gi-Oh! Was card games on motorcycles. I think that's the last time I ever like looked up anything that was like from the anime. I have no idea what Zexal is, so I'm going to take your word for it. Yeah, I'm going to take your word for it. I have no idea what Zexal is. But yeah, so here we have the what it looks like it is the AZ Murasame Liger. That's when they introduce X and Ys. I'm going to take your word for it, and I'm going to act like I understand that, because like I said, I have zero idea what you're talking about. Because the only thing I really know is that like the last time I remember anything from Yu-Gi-Oh was people playing the card game on motorcycles, which is fucking stupid. But cool, but stupid. But yeah, so this is the Murasame Liger, and what it looks like, and this is a really cool feature, is that they're giving the Murasame Liger a nice, like, chrome, like, a chrome silver katana blade. So if you don't know who this is, so this is the main Liger from Zoid's Genesis. So Zoid's Genesis was a Zoid series that never showed up in the States. It never really, I don't think it aired outside of Japan, except for maybe the Philippines. And this came out around 2000, I want to say 2005 or 6. Right, so it came out like pretty late. And this Zoid series did okay from what I could tell, but it also kind of put the series on ice for a hot while. And it looks good. So this is part of the Advanced Zoid series. So it's basically like more bulkier, more, I want to say more mature, but yeah, basically like bulkier variants of like the wind-up or battery-operated Zoid model kits you grew up with as a child. Just more detailed. So that means if we're going to get the Murasame, then I wonder if we're going to get its other two forms, which is the Hayate and the Mugen. And here we have the... so we have more Zoids here out on display from the show that they were featured in. So here we have from the... I'm guessing these are the RMZ Zoids, except minus the... Oh, wait, no, these are all... No, these are all Advanced Z. That's right, they're all Advanced Z. So here we have the Mulga, we have the Sea Panther, which is a hermit crab, we have the Command Wolf, Genosaur, Genobreaker, the Deathsaur, which is the one I have. I absolutely adore this kit. That, like, it's so far the only other Advanced Zoid kit I own. I do want to get the Liger Zero so that way I can make a Liger Zero Phoenix. But no, like the Death Soar, love this kit. Love it, love this kit. I can't sing its praises enough. It's so good. And then here we have the three new ones that are going to be released. So here we have the Cannery Mulga, which is just a Mulga, but done up with a large artillery cannon. A large flat cannon, basically. Here we have Liger Zero, Imperial Liger Zero. So basically what the Liger Zero was originally supposed to be. And then we have the Murasame. So already, like, the Advanced Zoid line is looking really good. Like, it's looking very, very good. So this one I'm really excited for. So this is going to be a Zoid that I'm definitely going to be grabbing. So this here is the Zabat. So the Zabat are basically little bat Zoids that would kind of like were known to clutter and cluster. And so what they are is that they will also drop these little bombs from their chest, which is something weird because like no other Zoid, I don't think any other Zoid fan has really like poked at this, but it might be based on an old World War II project known as Project X-Ray, which Project X-Ray is a old project known as the Bat Bomb, where the U.S. Army would take a bunch of Mexican freetail bats, load them up with tiny little canisters of napalm, let them fly out into Japanese cities, and then at night have the bombs, I think, either remotely detonate from the bats, so killing the bats, or drop from the bats. Either way, basically, they would turn the bats into little tiny flying incendiary bombers. And that's kind of what is going on here with the Zabat. And what's also really cool, though, is that with the Zabat, you can have two different types of heads. So you can either have, like, the drone head, which is my favorite head. This is usually what I display mine in. You can have it either as a drone head or a cockpit head, which is this one over here. And this is also going to be part of the realized model kit line. So they're not going to be motorized, but they are going to be posable. And they're going to be the equivalent of high grades. They're going to be like the equivalent of a high grade. So I've already like retweeted this because I'm very, very excited for this. Here's another one that I know a lot of fans have been clamoring for a very long time, and now we're finally actually getting it. So this is basically like a heavy artillery command wolf from one episode in Chaotic Century, but fans love this variant of the command wolf. Like, I have seen so many people basically garage kit this thing. So what it is that it came from one episode of the show where a Imperial soldier basically snuck into the Republican capital and stole this command wolf just to go back home. And it was a really cool Zoid. But yeah, now we finally actually get to have this. And yeah, no, I'm going to be pre-ordering it once I see it, like the things, like the slot for it to pop up. So here we have the Realized Model Kit Series Saber Tiger, or the Saber Fang. And yeah, no, like it looks good. This is basically just like a retool of the Shubalt Saber Tiger that we have gotten. It's just basically what you would get. Like, this is just basically like a vanilla Saber Tiger. Now, this is from the new animation that we're going to be watching. So this is a weird one, and it's something exclusive to this model kit line. So it's not in the canon. It's nowhere to be seen. So what this is that this is called a Blade Liger Panzer. So what it is that this is a Blade Liger, but has all of the weaponry and armor of the Liger Zero Panzer. It's kind of cool, but kind of bizarre all at the same time. I love this thing. I can't wait for this thing to come out. And then we have a lineup of all the ones that have been released or going to be released. So the three ones. So we have the Blade Liger, Command Wolf, Genosaur, But we also have things like Raven's Genosaur. You can't see it right here, but there's the Red Horn that was just announced. The previous mentioned Zabats, the Urban Defense Command Wolf, the Heavy Artillery Command Wolf, the Saber Tiger, the Shield Liger with its energy shield effect, and then the Iron Kong. And we actually have a good shot of this thing using its missile launcher weapon as an actual handheld weapon, because it never could do that in the anime, and I don't think it could do that in the battle story. But here with this model kit, yeah, it can do that. It do be doing that. Hang on for a split second here. Sorry. Okay. All right, so now also we will be having basically all mainline Zoid series on Japanese streaming services. So before we had things like Chaotic Century and New Century Zero, but now we're gonna have things like Genesis and Fusors, which, as Phobos stated in one of his videos, that hopefully these episodes will just be straight up riffs from like the Blu-ray DVD releases. And Fusors is kind of a sensitive subject with Zoids fans, because this is the Zoid series that it is the Zoid series that did kill Zoids for the Western market. Because so what happened was that just due to low sales and everything, Zoids got canceled here in the United States. Or I think like everything outside of Asia. So Fusors has been a very sensitive subject, basically. And in fact, actually, I think they had to go back and redo a couple of episodes because the quality of the episodes were so bad. Okay, and then now we have more shots of Raven's Saber Tiger, aka just the vanilla, just Jim Saber Tiger, basically. And it has like custom little pieces from like the final battle where Raven's Saber Tiger was destroyed. So we have like the bear inner working face and claws. But yeah, no, like this is actually going to be really, really cool. And then like pre-order reservations for this will open up in next month. And I just want to sit here and say where you can also order this. So where you can order all of this and more is that if you go to today's sponsor, HobbyLink Japan, I'm an affiliate with HobbyLink Japan. And if you use my chat command code !HLJ, it'll take you directly to the website. And the best thing about HobbyLink Japan is that it all ships worldwide. And now they have also opened up FedEx shipping as well to the United States. Again, that is HobbyLink Japan, your #1 hobby store in the world for all of your Gunpla and anime figure needs. And I'm also, if you want to drink something while you're building your model kits, use my other sponsor, which is Waifu Wares. I'm an affiliate with Waifu Wares. And if you use my chat command code GRARLBROWN at checkout, you save 15% off on all your purchases. Okay, there we go. Okay, so here we have the teaser for the said Blade Liger. So the Adamas Machina Blade Liger, which here, okay, this doesn't look so bad. I think it was just the photography, but here in terms of like the drawing, the Blade Liger doesn't look that bad. In fact, it actually looks really, really sick. I'm a little bit biased just because Blade Liger is my favorite Liger. But yeah, it doesn't look that bad. It really does not look bad, and it's coming out next year, so put that in your calendar. Because there's going to be a lot of Zoids dropping next year. I mean, like, a lot of Zoids next year. And speaking of more Zoids, now there are going to be the CAS armor for all of your AZ Ligers, or Liger Zero. So you have Jaeger, Schneider, and Panzer, and also the X armor for the Imperial Liger. The best thing about all of them is that they are interchangeable. So if you want like your Imperial Liger Zero to be a Schneider, a Jaeger, or a Panzer, you can completely do that. Or if you have a Liger Zero and you just want like a Liger, like a Liger Zero X instead of an Imperial Liger Zero, you can totally do that. But yeah, so I don't think these are going to be like individual Ligers with the armor. I think these are just going to be straight up just the armor. They might do that. I mean, like Kotobukiya did it too. So we'll see. And then, yeah, so these are going to be the two new Zoids that were announced for the animation. So we have the Blade Liger Panzer, and then the one that just came out of fucking nowhere, because this one is a canon Zoid. So this is the Liger Zero Falcon. So this one is a kind of like an out there kind of thing, because, and I told Phobos this, I almost kind of forgot that the Liger Zero Falcon was a thing. Because, I mean, to be fair, it looks nice, but like, let's be fair here. Liger Zero Phoenix looks a lot better. So, because Liger Zero Falcon is a fuser, that makes people wonder, is it possible for us to take apart the armor and then reconfigure it to make a Jet Falcon? So, we shall see about that when the Zoids come out. Okay, so we will watch that here in a little bit. So we'll watch these here in a little bit. Because I think it just... Okay, yeah, so we kind of went over that. So we don't really need to go over it. We don't need to go over that. And we don't need to go over that. However, there is a couple of things I wanted to bring up that Phobos shared on his stuff real quick. Let me see if I can find it. Because Kotobukiya did come out of fucking nowhere, and I'm guessing it's because of like licensing and stuff like that, but I do think that because of that, we are now going to be getting some pretty highly sought after HMM Zoid releases. And one of the reasons why they're highly sought after is because they are anime Zoids, so things like Lena's Gun Sniper and Irvine's Command Wolf, we're finally going to be able to get them again, I guess due to like some kind of like licensing agreement. And hang on real quick. Let me bring that up as well. Hang on, let me see here real quick. Because, yeah, this man, like, well, this man is also, like, the Zoid guy. So, like, of course, he's going to have, like, so many Zoid stuff that he's going to have on his timeline. Let me see here. Let's see here real quick. And okay, here we go. Okay, so it's the same post. Sweet. Got our work cut out for us. All right. So, the other thing that was brought up was this. So, this right here is the HMM Salamander. So what this is going to be is that this is going to be, I think, the widest of the HMM Zoid releases, or the Kotobukiya Zoids. It's going to be one of the tallest. I think it is going to be as tall as the HMM Gojulus, which is already the tallest Zoid in the Kotobukiya line. Now, what's also really cool, though, is that they're also going to be re-releasing the Gojulus Cannery set. So that means we can also get the Salamander... I think it's like the Salamander Bomber, which is just basically a salamander with these two giant fucking cannons on it. And the Zoid itself will actually come with the piece, so that way you can actually mount them on the Zoid. This thing is going to be an absolute Goliath. And I can't wait to finally get this guy. I have been waiting for this thing for so long. But yeah, no, this behemoth is going to be an absolute Goliath of a Zoid when you actually build it, because this wingspan looks fucking enormous, and I'm so hyped because we don't really get that many like airborne Zoids in the HMM line. Because I think I can actually count on my hand how many we have. We have the Terrace, the Redler, and then this guy. So not many. So this right here is part of the Metamorverse. So basically what it is that this is a new line that I guess they're kind of sort of pushing, not really, but kind of. So what it is that it's almost like Frame Arms Girls, but with Zoids. So the first one was their Blade Liger that's coming out in January of next year. Who I guess the girl is kind of like their mascot because she's actually a VTuber. Yeah, the Blade Liger girl is a VTuber now. And then now they're bringing in Fiona, so her armor is going to turn into Zeke. And yeah, Phobos is right, because good lord, that woman's got some fucking abs. Jesus Christ, she's been hitting the gym. I mean, I am not complaining here, but like, good lord, she has been hitting that gym. And then we have more of it, which is funny because like the artwork she's not that toned. Like she's like her stomach region in the actual like prototype, she's like super fucking toned, but yet in the artwork she's not that toned. It's kind of funny. I'm not complaining. I'm genuinely not complaining. I just think that's kind of funny. And this one is going to be coming out next year. Don't know when, but it will. All right, here we go. So, these are the Zoids that are going to be coming out next year from Kotobukiya that a lot of people are talking about. So, here we have the Lena Gun Sniper. So, basically, it's Lena with her second Zoid. Her first Zoid was the D-Bison that was destroyed by the Elephander in New Century Zero. And her gun sniper basically is just armed to the literal teeth and just guns. It's just basically Daka. She would make an orc proud. Now, this one is also something that I myself am very hyped for. And once I see the pre-order window for this open, I am slamming that button because this right here is a very, very sought after Zoid. So this one right here is the... So this one right here is the Lightning Sykes, but this is Irvine's Lightning Sykes. So the difference between them is that it comes with different eye color pieces and also that training armor that you see him just jettisoning off, which these right here are so highly sought after just because, again, they never really reprinted them. So I guess they're having some kind of an agreement with the anime licensors, so that way now we can actually finally have these two Zoids. I mean, like, a win's a win, right? A win's a win. I also would like to have a Blade Liger Mirage, but, you know, I will take my small victories. Because I really do want this Lightning Sykes so badly. Okay. So. Now that we're actually finally through all the news... Because after all the Zoid stuff, I do want to kind of go over one piece of news from Haya. So one thing from Haya. That's about their distribution. Which will make collecting their products a lot easier. So, let me see here. So, let me go ahead and... So, Zoids dropped this new animation. So Zoids dropped this new animation to promote their two new Zoids that are just coming out next year. The Blade Liger Panzer and the Liger Zero... Liger Zero Falcon. I almost said Phoenix. And it's actually, like, really fucking good. So what's interesting here, like, right out the gate, they are using the HMM Iron Kong as a model. I could tell right away from just how the proportions are, and you can see how the chest cavity is. Like, that is very much like the HMM Iron Kong. Like, they're using the... Like... Oh, sweet Jesus, that's fucking terrifying. Okay, for real though, I really do love this model that they used for the Death Soar. I think it's it's a unique model specifically for this animation, because it's not based off of the AMZ Death Soar. So this would kind of be our first like glimpse into like maybe what a HMM Death Soar would kind of look like. Which honestly, I could kind of see them doing an HMM Death Soar because we have a Gogulas. So they can make large bipedal dinosaur Zoids. And the thing is, like, they're not in scale with the anime. What they are is in scale to the original Zoid model kits in the original battle story. So in the original battle story, Death Soars were the size of a regular Zoid. They're not these gargantuan, towering Armageddon on legs. But so that makes me wonder, will we actually eventually get like an HMM Death Soar? Jesus! It's also really cool to see like all of like the little foot soldiers that are going along with the Zoids. Because in the battle story, like there are foot soldiers. There are actually like boots on the ground. Like it's not just entirely Zoid on Zoid combat. No, there are a lot of boots on the ground soldiers using like conventional weapons against Zoids. So it's nice to see that. This also kind of makes me wonder if we will get things like a HMM Reynos, because these models look really, really good. Well, and I'm saying like hopefully because like I said before, they did use the HMM Iron Kong as a base for those Iron Kongs. So that makes me wonder, are we actually going to get like an HMM Death Soar, an HMM Reynos? Because those are really, really nice. Oh shit, right. Okay, yeah, those pilots are fucking dead. Wait, hold up. I just want to see that again. Just the Iron Kong over here just like monkeying it out in the background is kind of funny. There we go, just in case. So, okay, so what's interesting about these... So, Phobos pointed this out as well, and it's a little Easter egg. So, the two pilots that are piloting both the Liger Zero Falcon and Blade Liger Panzer are voiced by the Japanese voice actors for Bit and Van from the anime series. But no, it's not actually them. See, again, I love that they are actually using real legit soldiers amongst Zoids, because this is typically how it would go. Now, granted, yeah, it is interesting. Now, granted, I don't think they would be firing off their what are clearly grenade launchers, like laser guns. Like that right there, no, they wouldn't be firing off like their grenade, their grenade launchers like fucking rifles like this. God, that detailing on that thing is so good. Yeah, hat time. Also, hi, Jackie. Oh! Oh, it cut it off. Oh, it cut off its charged particle cannon. Oh, and just straight down the mouth. God, that's so cool. Also, hang on, let me give you a shout out. Because hi Jackie, how you doing? Also hi Paleo, how are you doing? Hang on, let me give you a shout out. Yeah, you like my hat? It's an asset that I had since last year. They do, yeah. So in the original battle story, the Death Soarer was not this gargantuan kaiju-sized titan of a Zoid. It's actually like the same size as like say a Gojulus. Which granted, yes, Gojuluses are very large Zoids, but they would be no bigger than say like the Iron Kongs. They would pretty much be at their eye level. It's just that for the anime, they decided to make the Death Soarer basically just this giant kaiju of a Zoid. Yeah, I mean, like, I can give you the hat. Like, it's no big deal. But yeah, there are some Zoids that are smaller than others. But these show like a lot of like heavy infantry Zoids, like the Iron Kongs. Or like the Godos. So the Godoses are like light infantry Zoids. But yeah, also they are using... See, again, this is making me wonder if we are going to get HMM variants of these Zoids, because that is a HMM Blade Liger model, and that's a HMM Liger Zero model that they're using. So it really does make me wonder if we will get a proper HMM Death Soarer. And those are Rhinoses, so that makes me wonder, because, like, I love Rhinos. These are, like, one of my favorite Pteranodon Zoids. I fucking love these things. Like, so the backstory behind Rhinoses is that Rhinoses were pretty much like a next-gen answer to the Terras. Terrases were basically the grunt airborne Zoids. They were the blue Pterosaur Zoids that you would see flying around. These were kind of like their next-gen replacements. And then they were going to be replaced by the Storm Sorter. But it turned out the Storm Sorter was too expensive to make, so they kind of went back to the Rhinos. And the Rhinoses are basically kind of like the jack-of-all-trade, kind of high-speed attack flyer Zoid. Let's see here. I'm good, tired because it's almost midnight, but I'm almost binging. Yeah, I saw that. So I saw like one of those emotes that you sent me, and it looks really, really good. I honestly really, really love it. Like, I legitimately can't wait to see like when they're all finished. Let's see here. There we go. But yeah, this is such a cool... Like, the Blade Liger Panzer is such a really cool idea. Because I'm not gonna lie, I honestly thought at first this was like some weird mishmash Liger Zero with the Führer's Magneser drills, but no, this is the Liger Zero Falcon. Yeah, no, I'm really loving the emotes so far. I can't wait to use them. But yeah, I just wanted to show that off. And then let me see here, because I think, is this the same? Is this the same? No, okay. No, so this is just like... Yeah, no, like, it's a really cool clip. Like, they did it just to promote the 2 new Zoids that are coming out next year. So this is the promotion for the RMZ Redhorn. Which, Redhorns are basically like the original Imperial, like, heavy-duty tank Zoid. So these are Styracosaurus-type Zoids that have a very long history with a lot of fucking variants. So you have things like red horns, dark horns, green horns. And they're basically like their tank slash like workhorse. Like for a while, these were kind of like the heavy grunt, heavy artillery Zoids where you can mount them up with 2 laser chain guns and just let them go loose. They have that little cannon on their chin there, or on their lower jaw. That is a sulfuric acid powder cannon for human infantry. Yeah, so this is basically like a war crime gun. And it looks really, really good. Like, this looks so fucking good. Right, but you also got to remember, Paleo, is that this is also an anime where they have giant robot gorillas fighting giant robot lions. So, I mean, like, accuracy for animals are out the fucking window. But yeah, so, like, for a while, though, Red Horns were essentially, they were essentially, like, just the Imperials, like, jack of all trade tank. Up until things like, say, the Saber Tiger came around. And then they kind of, like, replaced them. Now, what's also really interesting about the Red Horn are its frills. So, these little doodads right here, they kind of depending on the fiction, they're either more laser cannons, because of course they are, or they are a 3D, like, basically like a 3D, like, scanning antenna that kind of give you like a, like, very detailed, like, I guess, like, weather radar and all other kinds of crap. But yeah, it just depends on, like, what it is exactly. And then also, they never displayed this in the anime, and I would really hate to be the poor bastard who has to be assigned to this, but on their tail right here, of course, it's more gun. Yeah, well, exactly. That's the beauty of Zoids. That is the absolute beauty of Zoids, is that it's just like, how many guns can we fit on one fucking animal? So, like, right here on the tail, that's a cockpit chair. Who, like, if you are stuck on this thing's ass, and, like, there is an open, like, cockpit, there is nothing defending you from getting domed in the head. But yeah, so basically, that's a cockpit on its tail. And then, like, the Green Horn is also kind of an interesting one, because it is a red horn that was painted green. Its frill-mounted laser cannons were replaced with energy shielding, and basically the 2 Blade Liger attack boosters were attached to it. And yeah, it's basically this big giant potato just charging at you with 2 giant ion boosters. It's very silly. It's very fucking silly. Right, but also, yeah, because also the Ultrasaurs did have a closed cockpit. Yeah, there's nothing stopping from you just getting sniped in the head. Or taking a stray shot by another Zoid. But this looks like it's going to be like the first, yeah, see, there you go. So it says like 3D, like, weather radar, but it's also basically like folding out like 4 extra laser cannons. Like, that's the magic of Zoids. It's just how much DACA can we put on one animal. There's one called the Gunbluster, which is just basically all gun. All gun, almost no Ankylosaur. It's just all gun. Like, they basically took an Ankylosaur and they were like, so what exactly can we just shove on this big giant tank of a Zoid? So the small griffin that you're talking about is the Battle Cougar. Yeah, that's literally the only griffin type Zoid that is in the franchise. And then, yeah, we have the Saber Tiger, and then we also have the Zabat. And God, do I love this Zoid. Just because, like, it's... The history behind the development of the Zoid alone is one of my favorites. Just because it's based on a super obscure World War II project. And no one's talking about it. And I love it. Yeah, no, and I absolutely love it. Okay, so... Let's see here, what is this one? Yep, okay, so... This was just another promotional... Yeah, bat bombs, yeah, basically. Alright, so this one here is the promotional video for the Cannon Remolga from the AZ line. Basically, you're not missing much with this little guy. Essentially, if you have the Mulga, you have the Cannon Remolga. The only difference is that, obviously, the color, and also, it has a flat gun on its back. That's the only difference. Which, also in the HMM line, this is also fed by a fucking magazine, which I think is hilarious. Because you would have, like, other little, you have, like, other, like, Zoids just come in behind it and load up another magazine once it runs out. It's so fucking goofy. Again, the same pretty much equipment that you would get from the regular Mulga. The laser cutter, aka its tiny little mandibles, 3D radar antenna. So same thing as the Red Horn. And then you got the surface to air missile, which I think in the anime this was I think it was its only main weapon, which is the laser cannon. Here it's a missile. And then the glide cannon. Jamming antenna, which is basically like, I know it's based off of like a certain type of caterpillar that mimics a snake, but it is kind of silly looking. I'm not gonna lie to you. It does look a little goofy. But that's exclusive only to this kit. So 120 millimeter is World War II destroyer gun main caliber. Basically, yes. Yeah, so it's essentially holding a World War II destroyer like main gun on its back. Oh, it can actually go backwards. Okay. That's cool as shit. But yeah, so that's pretty much like all of the Zoid stuff, because yeah, the Zoid stuff took a lot just because like there was a lot of shit that was released. And next year, excuse me. But yeah, next year is going to be a pretty packed year in terms of Zoids. Just because we're gonna have a lot of shit coming out next year in terms of that stuff. So that reminds me of the Dino Riders line from... Oh, absolutely. No, like, a lot of the stuff from Zoids is very much like Dino Riders, where it's just cramming a bunch of, like, cannons and armor on an animal and just call it there. Let me see here. Alright, let me see here. Because also there is another thing. There's another thing that I wanted to bring up as well. So So, Hiya Toys came out with this statement. And I think it's going to help out a lot of people, especially like if you collect their products. It's going to help out a lot, but we're also going to have an ad break here in about 3 seconds. So I'm going to take a bathroom break, and then we'll go over what they said afterwards. So we'll be right back, everybody. All right, guys. All right. Okay. So, Hiya Toys. So, if you don't know who Hiya Toys are, so Hiya Toys is basically a Chinese company that makes premium figures, but they're also really known for their Godzilla figures that are coming out that are essentially putting Monster Arts to shame. And both in just like mainly just like quality alone and pricing for these figures. Now I also want you to remember that they are a Chinese brand, so things are going to be a little bit messy here and there. And honestly, my field is not logistics, so I'm not entirely sure what this exactly means. But I do believe that I think it's that Hiya is now going to have a more hand-on approach on like their distribution, I'm guessing, because I don't know the gobbledygook of like logistics and all that other kind of stuff. So we'll take a look at it together. Okay, so it says here from, hang on, let me move this. God, hang on real quick. Hang on real quick, guys. Sorry about that, dogs. We're going completely apeshit. Okay, so what this means, so it says, official statement on Hiya Toys U.S. business. It reads, Dear partners, Hiya Toys hereby announces that effective on October 20th, so about today, or I should say yesterday, the company's product distribution and related wholesale business will be managed directly by Hiya Toys. For any purchases, wholesale inquiries, or business corporation, please contact us via our official email, and it shows you what the official email is. Hang on for a second. For wholesale orders previously placed with Diamond that remained undelivered, please contact wholesale at Hiya Toys. Hiya Toys will assist with fulfillment to ensure that all channel partners receive their products smoothly. If you have any questions or require further assistance, please feel free to reach out. Sincerely, thank you all. We sincerely thank all our partners for your contribute, trust, and support. Hiya Toys will remain committed to our philosophy: design with passion, craft with precision, bring icons to life. We will continue to provide high quality products and services to our global distributors. So basically what this means is that because Diamond, I believe Diamond is a distribution company, if I remember correctly. Diamond is a distribution company that I guess that they went under. I believe they either went under or they got bought out. But basically, they no longer distribute their products anymore. So now, because of that, Hiya is now going to be doing this stuff directly. They will now have also, thank you for the hydration. Yes, Lilac, I had a very good day. Thank you for... see, Lilac, you're so sweet. Thank you. You're so smart. You're so sweet. Thank you, Lilac. Thank you for asking. Okay. But yes, so basically, Hiya Toys will now have a direct hands-on approach on how to distribute their products. So that means that now we'll have a more consistent and a far better scheduling with their releases, because I know things like with Big Bad Toy Store, their releases are pretty shoddy at best, because there are some orders that are some products that were released months ago and they're still on pre-order hell, because I know things like Godzilla Evolved from New Empire on Big Bad Toy Store is still under pre-order. Shimo is another one, because Shimo I think she was released earlier this year. If I remember correctly, Shimo was released earlier this year. And with things like Big Bad Toy Store, she just came out on Big Bad Toy Store. So we basically had to wait, I think, like, what, a year and a half. I think she was either released last year or this year. I can't remember, but I think it was this year. Anyway, I think it was about like a year and a half, if not almost a whole year, for them to release Shimo on Big Bad Toy Store. So now with Diamond out of the way, now I'm wondering if we will now see a more consistent release schedule for at least our North American distributing stores. So things like Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, etc., etc., etc. So I'm kind of glad about this. I'm very glad, as long as like Haya can produce and release figures that are still very good quality and at a decent time frame. That's all that matters to me, because things like SH Monster Arts and Tamashii Nation, they've been kind of going downhill with their products, especially with Monster Arts, because I think out of like all the releases over the past couple of years, when it comes to Monster Arts, I think I could count on my hand just how many were actual like legit bangers with no issues. Things like, from what I hear, Anguirus isn't bad. I think Anguirus is one of them. I think Hedorah is another one of them. Yeah, I think Hedorah is another one. Anguirus is another one. I want to say the 2000s Godzilla isn't bad, but that one I don't think has been released yet. But also but Tamashii Nations and Monster Earth has kind of burned a lot of goodwill and good faith with their customers, just because of how shoddy a lot of their products are. Things like Shin Godzilla is a good example. Kong is another good example. Their Monster Arts New Empire Kong is atrocious, just because of the fact that, one, shoddy build quality, two, they turn into a mucho expensive Build-A-Figure, which is fucking unacceptable. Yeah, the Monster Verse figures seem to be the worst, but also some of their Showa era toys have been also really bad too. So things like their Gigan, I was really kind of disappointed, because I hear really not good things about Gigan, because he's either hit or miss. Like, either people get him and he's uber brittle, or some people get him and he's not too bad. But most of the consensus is that he's very, very brittle, and it makes me worry about their Showa King Ghidorah that's coming out. Because Showa King Ghidorah was, for the most part, was released several years ago. Because I vividly remember back in, I want to say 2020. Yeah, 2020. Because I was living with my friend over in Wesley Chapel. But back in like 2020, that particular Ghidorah was knocked off, where people sold this knockoff of King Ghidorah on AliExpress as a quote-unquote knockoff of their 2019 Ghidorah, which in actuality, it was literally just Showa-era King Ghidorah. And the expensive Queen Legion that almost everyone refused to buy. No, exactly. No, like their Legion, or hell, not even their Legion, their fucking Iris. Their fucking Iris figure was also super expensive, that not a lot of people wanted to buy. You know what I'm saying? Actually, in fact, hang on, let me see here real quick. me see here. Gamera. So, in fact, actually, let me see here real quick. The fact that this thing is sold out on Big Bad Toy Store scares me. The fact that this thing is sold out on Big Bad Toy Store terrifies me. That some people bought into this and they said, "Oh yes, please, we want a almost $1,000 toy." And the thing is, like, it's not even that big. It's not even, to my knowledge, it's not even that big. In fact, actually, shit. If I look this up, let me see here real quick. Let's do Monster Arts Legion. Let's do Monster Arts Legion real quick. Because I'm super curious to see, like, is this thing even that big? Because I don't see a lot of reviews of the damn thing, but let me see here. There we go.
$500. In the current year of 2025, to date, this is the most expensive SH Monsters to exist. From what I've heard from sources, this is only supposed to be the one and only Mother Legion release that they'll be doing. But my God,
I sure fucking hope so.
For a singular figure, who on earth would even spend that type of money?
Yeah, how big is this thing?
Chaos control. Stay hydrated.
I need to see how big is this thing. Yeah, fucking ouch. Yeah, fucking ouch.
I think that's everything out of here, and I've just got a disassembled.
Also, I just wanted to say I see that I see that Nanmu Vistatosaurus in the background. I fucking see that.
Legion here on my hands, so we're just gonna put everything back where it belongs. Shading where it is needed is also very cleanly applied. I am a big fan of the striking blue that is in Mother Legion's eyes. The crystal part inside of her mouth, nose, snout thing, whatever, is made of a clear plastic, so that's a very nice touch as well. I guess my only real complaint that I would have is I do kind of wish the stomach area with the red maybe had like some paint on it to kind of emanate a glow effect. But
yeah. Like, look, if you're gonna say, like, I'm gonna be real with you, like, things like Biolante, honestly, from the looks of it, it looks like it's no bigger than, say, Biolante, and Biolante was a fraction of of what she is, and she came with, like, electronics. Like, just let that sink in. She was about $200, and she came with electronics. This thing should probably have, like, for the price point alone, should have at least electronics.
Someone who is a figure
if you're going to be spending nearly $1,000 fucking dollars on a toy, $1,000, nearly $1,000, right? Nearly $1,000. Gotta eat now. Yeah, absolutely, Jackie, and also have a good night.
If I am feeling bold enough to the challenge, I might just do this myself. But other than that slight nitpick, I would also say the paint on this figure is pretty nice. After taking a look at this figure up close for a long time now, I really have not...
Okay, hang on, let me let my dog out real quick. Okay, but like, I don't know. I don't know if this is legitimately worth
noticed any sort of paint
nearly
spots
$1,000.
There may have possibly been one on the stomach egg area, but it was something that I couldn't even notice again after looking at it multiple times. But other than that, for that potentially small little paint splotch in the stomach, there really isn't any sort of like paint overlay or paint bleed anywhere.
Because I'm gonna be
The
real, I
figure
don't
is
see
very
the
nice.
I don't
And
see the
now
worth.
for the meat and potatoes of this review, which is the articulation of this figure. For a figure with a very complicated design like this, arguably one of the most complicated monster suits made in history, you're probably wondering how the articulation is on this figure. And my verdict? It's fine. Like, it's okay. It's about what you would expect from Mother Legion. It's not going to be like a Revoltech, but it's also not going to necessarily be just a statue. It's
I mean, honestly, when it comes to Mother Legion, I'm not expecting her articulation to be that good, because the suit itself was not that posable. So I'm not expecting her to be ultra dynamic.
got articulation in there.
So-
and has it where it counts. Like, for instance, the head,
Like,
the
if
torso,
hell, like
the
if she has
legs.
just like serviceable articulation, that's fine, because again, the suit itself was a fucking massive, just massive complicated suit. So I'm not expecting her to have like the best articulation in the world.
all of her spindly bits and her arms, and surprisingly, I honestly thought they were going to make this a head accessory, her mouth snout thing. I will say there is a lot of ball joints and ball sockets on my Mother Legion copy that have a tendency of falling off a lot. My personal solution to this is just
Okay.
adding a microscopic dot of Gorilla Glue to the ball sockets and then just moving it around a lot. This may not be the most practical or safe or maybe even effective way of fixing the ball joints, but it's just how I do it, and
That's
been
how I do
working
it too.
for me for many figures. So obviously in the footage that I recorded, I will be showing.
So I actually got that tip from Jobby the Hong.
Apologies for some of the stuff falling off, but that is something that I do need to show, as there are a lot of like arms and legs on this figure that do fall off pretty easily. So yeah, one constructive little criticism that I will give is that obviously for some of the legs there are some pins that are showing on the figure.
Okay, but like I need to see like how big is she?
I've ever done,
Because again, this is a toy that is nearly $1,000. This is almost a grand.
16 plus years of figure collecting. This process was very tedious, and it does not help that with my copy of the figure, a lot of stuff does fall off quite a bit. I think whenever you start to get
Yeah,
the
that's
hang
that's
of
the
it,
C
it
that's the
may
QC
become
issue.
less of a nightmare to do. But for me, doing it the first time, I was like, oh my god. Not to mention, I was afraid that I was going to break something, and personally, I don't feel like breaking my $500 figure. But regardless, I did get her into the flight mode after probably like an hour and 30 minutes.
God.
And I will admit, she does give off an intimidating display when she is all displayed in her flight mode with all 4 of her insect wings. It is a very nice looking piece.
Yeah, I
that
don't think
I
it.
could potentially see myself displaying her like that on the shelves in the future, because
I
it does
probably
look pretty
would.
cool, I will admit. Honestly, the level of engineering that went into making the flight mode possible, while yes, very convoluted and complicated, it is quite impressive. I will admit that. There's a lot of different moving parts to this that
Okay, but like, and see, okay. Again, toys like nearly $1,000. I don't see how people could buy this. I mean, like, if you are a massive Gamera fan, sure.
I, at least at the time of recording and crafting this video, I will be the first English figure review for the SH Monstars.
See, there we go. There we go. There is Biolante, and then there is Legion. I'm sorry, but like I know, like, okay, you know, haha, I'm Godzilla fan, but and all that, but like no, honestly, I'm going to prefer Biolante over her, because at least with her, she actually has things like a glowing feature that's worth her price, like her quality top notch. Like, yeah, she doesn't really pose all that much, but also it's fucking Biolante. Most of her articulation's in her fucking vines. She's kind of a stationary, like, puppet, basically. She's not even a suit, she's like a puppet. And then not only that, but she also has like a light up feature. And again, when I bought mine, I bought the special color variant, but when I bought mine, it was about $200. That was at release date. $200. Worth it. 100% worth it. With Legion, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see how this is $500. I can't see it. I cannot see it. Now, granted, also my King Ghidorah that I'm looking at is twice as expensive as Legion, but also at the same time, the King Ghidorah is also really fucking rare. But this, I don't know. I can't justify it.
Cool little thing. So with that being said, I wanted to get as many size comparisons as possible.
I mean, she's
Now, before
cool,
I went
but
further, I
like,
did kind of realize that I did not get any sort of movie monster series or Playmates figures in there, which if you have known me for a while and you've seen my figure reviews, you would know that I do often try to get the Playmates and movie monster series stuff in there. But regardless,
I will
same
say though, love this figure. Love this figure. This is probably one of the best monster art figures I have bought. Period. I love the anime Gamera. This thing is so good. This is the standard right here. This right here should have been like the standard for monster art figures going forward. It's that fucking good.
In there. But regardless, same size relatively to the SH Monstarts and High stuff. So yeah, here's just a little montage of all of the figures that I have compared the size to from multiple different companies. Overall, the size is about what you would expect for this figure. She is going to be a shelf hog. She is on the larger spectrum of the SH Monstarts and even just kaiju figures in general. She does give off a very big silhouette compared to some of these other figures. She may not be as tall as the Haya Ghidorah 91, but my god, she is still a very tall and very long figure. Not to mention, when you put her in her flight mode, she takes up a lot more space too, especially with the
But again, I
wings.
can't
And I will say
justify
something
it.
about the wings that I didn't bring up in the flight mode is you don't necessarily need the spindly little stands to display it with. I feel like the wings on their own can hold up very nice. So good job on SH Monstarts for making the quality on the ball sockets for the wings pretty good. Overall, my final thoughts on this figure is I would not say this is worth $500 to
No, it's really not.
And QC in some places could be better, but overall, I still do like this figure. I will say that I'm definitely glad that I now do have a Mother Legion figure.
Again, I can't justify 500. I can't justify 500. I just can't. Like, I legitimately just cannot justify $500. Now, granted, if she came with like her little Legion and all that stuff, like in the movie, and her stuff lit up like in the movie, okay, sure, I can understand that. But that I just can't, man. There's no excuse. There's genuinely no excuse as to why it costs that much money. But also, one last thing about toys and stuff, and then we'll move on to like some scary stuff. So this just dropped. So Nanmu just dropped these up for pre-order. So what these are is that this is the Nanmu Spinosaurus. Also, hang on real quick. There we go. Yep, so this right here is the Nanmu Spinosaurus. And my god, does it look fucking gorgeous. Hi, Tori, how are you doing? Only 500 I justify would be a master grade meteor unit. Well, yeah, because at least you're building something. And it's going to be gigantic. Also, everyone, please go follow Carnotauri. Absolute sweetheart. She likes to share a lot of cursed food, so please be warned. Please be warned about it. She does like to share off a lot of cursed food. She is also one of my favorite little Carnotauruses. And she's fucking cracked at art. Oh yes, the food. Oh, very much the food. Hang on. Carnotauri. There we go. There we go. Did you like the shit on shit I sent you? Yes, I did. I did. And I sent you some I sent you some Connect 4. I sent you Connect 4 memes as retaliation. And you never responded back. How dare you? How dare you not respond back to it? Yeah, so chat, basically whenever Tori sends me like horrible cursed food, I send her Connect 4 memes. And I have a lot of Connect 4 memes. I have a lot of them. Says you who... Okay, well fine, I'll start responding back. How you feel about that? How you feel about that then? I'm gonna start responding back then. I'm also just really bad at like responding back to messages. I'm gonna be real, I'm also just like very, very bad at responding back to messages. Cause I have like ultra mega ADD. I'm just joking. I know you are. No, I know you are. But yeah, so this right here is the Nanmu Smart Series Spinosaurus. And I was wondering how they would actually handle this thing. But from what we are seeing, this looks really, really good. They like nailed this so well. And it looks exactly how it does in the movie. It is actually kind of insane. Yeah, and Jurassic Park Evolution built, I'm sorry. Yeah, Jurassic Park World Evolution 3 just dropped today. Yeah, I was watching Kurai. I was watching Kurai play a little bit of it. Because I mod for her. So yeah, baby dinos. And so the other variant of the Spinosaurus that we're getting is this one. So this one is done up in the old Kenner Spinosaurus. And honestly, I might get this one. I honestly might get this one just because like I have a Hammond Collection Spinosaurus. Like I am perfectly content with the Jurassic Park 3 Spino, but I would love to get the Kenner like colored Spinosaurus. So like that looks nice and reminds me of Rexy. Yeah, so Nanmu's also coming out with a Rexy. So let me see here real quick. So they're coming out with a Buck and also a Rexy for their Smart series. And this one looks also just spot on. This looks spot on. I also might get the Buck. Just because I like the Buck Rex a lot more. I'm also just like a whore for green. I love green. Green is my favorite color. And Buck has that nice like almost like tiger striping going on his back. He's got that nice shade of green. This is actually like my favorite variant of the JP T-Rex. Yeah, it's sad that she's no longer in the franchise, but also at the same time, I'm kind of glad because it's like, just let her die. Let her die with some dignity. Which is less than I could say about the franchise as a whole. I just want that franchise to just die. And this is coming from someone who actually loves Jurassic World. Like, I love Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, and all that stuff, but yeah, just let it die. Please, let it ride off into the sunset and with some shred of dignity. Instead, they just keep that poor son of a bitch chugging. Like, the last movie was great, but it was not needed. But here, this is really good. Like, you can't see it, but like, you can get her into some really good poses. So like, you can even have her like laying down like she's sleeping. Like, this is some really, really good posing for her. Yeah, no, like this is really good. So this is coming out of December, or at least on Big Bad Toy Store. On Lana Time Shop, it might be a little bit different, but here it's going to be about $121. Same thing with the, oh, I'm sorry, the Buck is actually going to be $126. The Spinosaurus is going to be about $126. And then so both Spinos are going to be about the same price, give or take. But there's also a down deposit for them. Yeah, so there's going to be like a bit of a down deposit for those as well. So have your wallets ready, because also that down deposit is not refundable. At least on Big Bad Toy Store. You can get them at Lana Time Shop for a smidgen bit cheaper. But yeah. Okay, so that is pretty much it for the toy stuff. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for all the toy stuff that we have for. Because I think we covered a metric fuck ton. Yeah, we covered like a metric fuck ton and then some. So, let me see here real quick. Alright, so let's actually watch some ghost sightings. Actually, you know what? Hang on. Yeah, I want to like watch some stuff about the Appalachian Mountains, because like I don't know why I've been kind of on a kick with those, with the whole like Appalachian Mountains. And it's actually kind of interesting. Scary Appalachia Mountains. Okay, 2 hours of no, we're not gonna watch 2 hours. Nah, we're not gonna watch that. Okay.
Rules to follow.
It's the fucking AI voice. Hang on, let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find like one that's not like an AI voice.
The rules of
There we go. Okay, this is a little bit better. Okay. 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 So the rules of the Appalachian Mountains. There's a channel called Thought Potato that I'd recommend. Okay.
Appalachia. 1. Never be in the woods from dusk till dawn. 2. Never leave the marked trail. It's marked off for a reason. 3.
I think that's common
if you hear
sense.
voices close to you, they're far away. But if the voices are far away, then they're near.
Okay, that's kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie, I've been like researching a lot about like the Appalachian Mountains, and it makes me like legitimately want to go to the Appalachian Mountains just to see like what all this haunting stuff is like. Now, granted that I'm also gonna be like fucking around and I will be finding out, but also I feel like I will be finding out if and I'm also gonna be like really enjoying it
And if
because
the
I love this
voices
kind of
are
shit.
saying your name, do not answer them. 4. Do not whistle or sing in the woods. 5. Never look too hard into the trees.
Yeah, that goes for you, Tori. Don't be whistling in the woods. I see you over there. Don't be whistling in the woods. Otherwise, someone's gonna come over there and get your fucking booty hole. Not just your booty, but your booty hole. Just your booty hole. Both cheeks? No, the cheeks will be unclapped and unsullied, but your booty hole? No, they're coming for that.
You might not like what you see.
There are so many scary videos, but I always think that it's not explored as much, and nature itself has interesting sounds. No, like it really does. Like things like say say like the bloop, right? So like the bloop to me is very fascinating just because of like it's a legit 50-50 toss up of like it could very well be a ginormous sea creature that we don't necessarily know about, or it could very well just be ice just like scraping along. Like we just don't know. Like we just don't know, and I think that's honestly the best thing about it. Also, hang on real quick. Okay.
On May 5th, 2024.
I mean, I don't know what the fuck that was, but okay. I mean, for the Appalachian Mountains, people always fear the unknown. No, and that's true. And I think that's actually like what makes it so interesting. And also, by the way, Tori, enjoy your VIP role. But I think that's honestly like what makes it so fascinating is that like because humans fear the unknown so much is actually how we are able to survive, and it's also where a lot of our folklore and monsters come from, are from things like fear of the unknown.
TikTok user Coco Bear Hikes.
Yeah, of
posted
course.
a video of his
Yeah, all my
journey
friends.
while
I
he
try to
was
make sure
hiking
all my
across
friends get
the
VIP.
entire Appalachian Trail. And that's when he heard gunshots nearby, seemingly in the middle of nowhere. And while not overtly paranormal, it did give him pause, thinking he could be in danger. And since he was not armed himself, he began to record for his own safety.
Fuck,
Here's
is
that
this
clip.
wait, is
Take
this
a look.
is this fucking AI? Is this voice AI? Credits. Feature places, transcripts. Because either let's see here, the audio tracks for some other languages were changed. How this video was made. Okay. I guess it's not AI, but it kind of his monotone voice kind of sounds like it.
And so it's like a really weird place to shoot. I think the trail goes that way.
10 more days till Halloween. Yeah. Because my birthday's on Halloween. I mean, like, honestly, on the Appalachian Trail and all that kind of stuff, I could kind of see, like, some kind of, like, some yokels just shooting off their guns just because they can. I mean, granted, it is kind of scary because it's just like, oh, why are you shooting?
Now it should be noted that many commenters were quick to speculate as to why they were shooting in such a remote area, with some commenting that he had every right to be sketched out, and while others said it was completely normal. But given Appalachia's notoriety, it left him a bit more paranoid. You can follow the rest of his journey over on his TikTok account. But as always, let me know what you...
I mean, like, again, I feel like that I don't think you have to really worry about, because I think that's just a bunch of country people just out in the woods just shooting. Because growing up with country people, that is kind of like what they do, but at the same time, yeah, you also got to be careful because you don't know if that is actually just that or you're just hearing like a murder play out.
think.
I have the Halloween 3 Silver Shamrock. You know, honestly, I'm not a big fan of the Halloween movies.
This next creepy video comes from D's Dark Adventures over on YouTube. I'll tag it in the description below. And after hiking on a strange trail near the Appalachian Mountains, she begins to be hunted by something in the distance, and it does not go well. And after making it out of the woods, it still continues to follow her. Here's that clip. Take a look.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of creepy, I'm not gonna lie.
Hi. Yep. Yep.
I mean, honestly, that is kind of fucking creepy.
Please, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I would pack. I mean, like, honestly, I wouldn't probably make a scene, but yeah, no, I'd be like legitimately freaked the fuck out. Let's see, I saw a show where they found the Ozark Howler is more like a surviving red wolf in the wilds. Honestly, I could see that because like red wolves are very fucking rare. Like in Florida, they are extremely rare. It could just be leaves. Oh, hey, Hollow.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I did see it.
Okay.
We were also going over Hiya Toys and how they're gonna be focusing on like direct distributing their products.
Huh.
Yeah, they just made a post about it saying like because Diamond, I guess the big distributor just went under. So they themselves are gonna have a hand on personally like distributing their products to like vendors.
Well, I hope that means we get more of their product sooner.
And also we
Question
looked
mark?
over at the SH Monster Arts Mother Legion.
Oh yeah, I've seen a few people have post videos of Mother Legion.
I'm like, that is not $500 worth. I'm
Oh, no.
sorry, but that is not.
It's just because it's really big. I think that's the only reason why
It's
they
the
do
same
that.
size as Biolante.
Is it? It looks
Yes.
bigger.
Yeah, she's the same size as Biolante.
Huh.
And that's just Biolante with her back arched. Or like, yeah, her back like slumped over.
Hmm.
Like,
I don't know.
Biolante's big.
Did
and,
you
like,
see the
And
the
Biolante
Spino?
also... Yeah, I did see the Spino. We went over both Spinos.
Excellent, excellent.
Like, it looks really, really good.
I want to get the green one.
I am too.
Uh,
I am probably
Must
gonna have to probably have to go to Lana Time Shop and get my Indominus because Yayos has not responded. Actually, they left me on red. They haven't responded back to like my order.
yeah. I want to get the orange one, but it's sold out everywhere.
Oh, it is. Like that's like the fan favorite.
Yeah, I can see why it's
Yeah.
really good.
Also-
Indoraptor, however, is coming soon.
See, but I'd run more like I would go to the forest at night. Oh no, exactly. Also, we're watching like scary stuff in the Appalachian Mountains.
Oh,
Yeah.
Luscious.
Yeah. And this woman is freaking the fuck out because she saw two glowing eyes in the forest, and she's like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
Let's see.
Oh yeah, no. Honestly,
Wow.
that
That looks
That looks
like a burr.
that looks terrifying. I don't think that's a bear.
Hmm.
Yeah, what is that? I don't know.
It does look very grainy.
Well, that's also because she like zoomed it as like at maximum.
Yeah.
But
That is a bear.
you think that's a bear?
Yep, that is a bear. It just stood upright. I saw it like
No, I mean that don't look like a bear. I don't look like no bear. That's too skinny to be a bear.
maybe it's a very thin black bear.
I don't know.
He's fucking malnourished, hungry as fuck, sees a human. That sounds like a free supper to me. That sounds like
Looks like a person, man.
No, it's not a fox.
Looks like a fucking person.
that'd be too tall for a fox.
Yeah.
It's- oh,
I mean, honestly, it does kind of look like vaguely like a person.
I need a person. Ah! It just keeps getting up and down, up and down. Stop.
yeah.
Fuck, I can't run. Ah!
I don't know about that one.
Drive by. Somebody drive by.
I do genuinely think that's like a bear.
Although it may be hard to tell,
I mean,
once it
maybe,
follows to the edge of
but-
the tree line, you can see it in a crouched position and seemingly stand up on two legs.
That
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, yeah, that could have been a bear, but I don't know. Like,
I mean, like, sure, like it's hard to tell with all the footage that we have here, right?
because it almost
I
looks
will
like
say
it's doing
that.
like almost like a slob squat.
Yeah, it kind of does look like that for sure. I personally think it's a bear just because of as much of a shape that I can see here, it feels very much like this is a bear on all fours that is mostly facing forward.
I mean, I guess so.
This is my take. Like probably,
Sure.
because I'm gonna go out and say like a probably because okay. Fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
There are black bears that have brown fur, and there are brown bears that can have black fur. It's very funky. It's kind of
Right.
It gets confusing, but it's
Are
possible.
black bears found in the Appalachian Mountains?
That's the other thing I wanted to know if black bears can be found in the Appalachians.
Let me do a quick Google real quick. Let's see here. Can black bears be found in the
Yep.
Appalachian Mountains? Oh, can
American
they?
black bears. Yep, I'm reading right now. American black bears.
Yep. Yes, they can.
While encounters are becoming more common, it's important to take precautions to prevent conflicts. Yeah.
Huh.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Are there?
Wait. You know what? Actually, wait. Let me see something real quick. Bear species in the
Okay. So there are, as far as I can tell, there are no brown bears.
Yeah. So not like
in the mountains.
the grizzly.
No, grizzlies like to live more coastally anyway.
Yeah, it says here the only bear species in the Appalachian Mountains is the American black bear. These bears are the largest land mammals in the eastern United States and are found throughout the Appalachian Range, from southern states like Florida to the northern states like New York, and have a healthy and increasing population, though conservation is still important. Okay. So, no, I don't think it's a mountain lion or a wolf. A mountain lion wouldn't just stand up on its hind legs like
But let
that.
me know, what do you think about
No.
this? And the comments
No,
below.
not like that.
And it probably would have screed at some point.
Yeah, so like if it was a mountain lion, it would have screamed, or it would not be that curious towards people. Mountain lions are very secluded animals, and they will fake charge at you to tell you to get the fuck away.
It would either fake charge you or it would go right for the kill.
Right.
Immediately.
Because like if it's a mother with a cub, it will fake charge you to tell you to back the fuck off.
Yeah.
If it were a wolf, you're dead. Because it's probably not just a wolf. There is probably multiple wolves around the area.
Yeah, there is a chance that its pack is there somewhere.
Because I think typically wolves are rarely by themselves.
Yeah, like there are like actual like wolves that are by themselves, but more often than not, there's gonna be like another 12.
Yeah,
like, less than a mile away from.
And they wouldn't be standing on their hind legs like that.
No.
Yeah, it's most likely a bear. I mean, like it could be like a supernatural creature, but also it could also be a bear.
Erica's world, and she lives near the Appalachian Trail. And one day, while driving across an off-beaten path, she sees pairs of shoes hanging along the trail in multiple states of repair. But
I'm not gonna lie, that's a little. That would kind of weird me
women's
out.
High-heeled shoes. Feeling a bit creeped out, she decides to turn the car around and go back and film just how many she saw. And she stated that she's never seen anything like this. And
I'm not gonna lie, if I see like wooden totems just being dangled on like in like a fucking tree, I'm leaving.
Yeah, that is actual hag behavior. Nope.
Like, I'm gonna be real, I am a very superstitious person. I'm a heavy believer in the supernatural. And if I see like fucking like wooden totems being hung up on like trees, if I'm out on my walk and stuff, I'm noping the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Like if you tell me, oh Grawl, don't be a pussy. Come on, man. Like it's just junk on the trees. I'm like, no. That's bad.
No.
That is bad juju.
Yeah. That like I tend to be a bit more skeptical, but even then, like you see stuff like that, like even if it isn't supernatural, somebody is there. This is a place that people or some person frequents. So and you don't know who or what they are, so you might as well.
Yeah. No. Like That's what I'm saying. Like if I see just like wooden totems of like sticks tied together, no, we're about face and we are heading the fuck out the opposite way.
Yeah.
Now, if I see shit like this, oh no, we're turning back around. We're gonna find another route.
Rewind it. I missed it.
They're saying like she found like trees or shoes and like trees and stuff in multiple like states of repair.
Yeah.
If I saw that, I'm like noping the hell out of there.
Here's that clip.
Like shit like that.
Yeah. No, there's a fucking hag in these woods.
Or stuff like that.
This is the most elaborate backwoods prank. Or yeah, there's a fucking like
Crazy
serial
person.
Killer. There's a realistically, at worst, there's a serial killer in this fucking woods.
Probably, or it's just a legit crazy person.
Sorry, the beer cans kind of got me.
It did, yeah. Down by the river.
Now, there was
Living in a
speculation
van down by the
as to
river.
what it could mean, but she has since stated that she's going to find a different route from now on. In fact,
Yeah, I kind of would too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
I mean, it's different from like seeing like two shoes or two sneakers being like, you know, hung up on like telephone wires and stuff like that. No, this is something else.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would do this as a joke, specifically if the woods are rumored to be haunted. I mean, honestly, that would be kind of funny, but also fuck you. That would scare the shit out of me.
You are the problem.
You are a monster. You are the monster, Tori.
for one, don't blame her in the slightest. But as always, let me know. What do you
Especially since I am a very superstitious person. No, you are a monster.
This next creepy video comes from Action Adventure Twins, and they specialize in cave diving.
Would
and
scare the
finding
shit out of me
landmarks
too. So honestly, that's
hole
fair.
in the ground in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains. They decide to lower a GoPro with a rope.
Because, like, honestly, I do believe there are supernatural forces in the Appalachian Mountains. I do 100% believe in that. Like, I do believe there are things that you cannot explain.
Down the
That
hole,
is one thing that I
see if it
do
opens up into a cave
agree with.
that they
Like,
can explore.
I am a
But
skeptic,
what the
but I
camera
also
actually
understand
picks
that there are
up
just
is
some
pretty
things
terrifying.
we
I
still
shortened
can't
it a bit
figure out
for
how to
time,
explain.
but you
Because, like, things like sea serpents and stuff, I've seen one. I have, like, legit seen one. I'm not even, like, saying... I'm not even yucking this up as, like, a VTuber lore. No, I have legit seen one.
Oh, a sea serpent. I
Yeah.
feel like this is a story for another time. I feel.
I mean, like, I've said it before on stream.
I've never heard this story before, so
Okay, so when I was a teenager and I lived in Mississippi for a while with my biological father and my horrible stepmother at the time and her three pieces of shit children. So we all went to a place called what? Stingray Island. I think it was called Stingray Island. Stingray Island or Cat Island. It was one of the two. But basically, we were driving around in the boat, just looking at all the stingrays and stuff out on the coast. Also, hi Ronma, how you doing? So we were all just, you know, in the boat, tubing, having fun, all that kind of crap. And then, as the day rolled on, we were just kind of like lounging around in the boat. And then me and the second oldest child of my piece of shit stepmother at the time, my ex-stepmother.
yes.
We both saw something in the water that I, to this day, will never forget. So what it was that I saw this jet black. I mean, like, it was black as coal. It was literally as black as this hole right here.
Yeah, yeah.
It was literally as black as this hole. And it had to be no longer than, like, I want to say, like, 2 to 3 feet long. Just
Okay.
appearing out of the water, and it was still. It was very still. It had a very reptilian look to it. It didn't just look like a piece of wood. And it was just almost looked like it was sunbathing.
In the water?
Like it craned its head out. And
okay, so
I shit you not.
sorry, I'm trying to visualize in my head. So you saw a long black reptilian
Yes.
tail, or like the
No,
head?
no, it was like a head. It was like a head
Okay.
and a neck. I can
So
literally
it is-
draw you. I can draw you what this looks like. I mean, like, it was a clear blue sky day. You know, it was not cloudy. There was no debris around. Like, it was clear. Like, it was
So
like clear as you could possibly get.
so basically, this thing craned its neck out of the water,
Yeah, basically, yeah.
and it was kind of just still
Yeah.
looking out at.
Yeah, it was. And then when we looked away for a couple of seconds, gone. Gone.
It
It was
spooked.
it was jet black. It was slick. Like, it was like shining, because you know how things like shine when they're wet.
Yeah, and where was this again?
Mississippi. This was not in
Mississippi.
Florida.
Mississippi. All places.
Yeah. No, like, I remember it clear as fucking day. It was jet fucking black. Yeah, and it was gone. Just gone. I don't know if it was just up there from just to catch a breath or whatever, but there was like nothing around it to really say what it was. There was not a piece of driftwood because you would see it float off. There was not a bird. It wasn't a pelican. It was a jet black reptilian looking thing.
I know you said Mississippi, but do you know like where specifically in Mississippi?
Off the coast of Biloxi.
Oh, so it's like actually out at like a beach.
Yes.
Huh.
Because me and my not my stepdad. Me and my biological father, we used to live around Gulfport for like a brief period of time. And then Hurricane Katrina came around, forced us to evacuate. We came back. Long story, basically. But yes, by the way, I'm a Hurricane Katrina survivor. But no, like, I remember it clear as day. Like, it was off the coast of Biloxi, Cat Island. I believe it was Cat Island. Yeah, it was Cat Island, because I know there's two islands. There's like Cat Island and Ship Island. It used to be one island, but then one hurricane like literally chopped the island in half.
Mm-hmm.
But
Huh.
it has burned into my brain, and I can remember it clear as day. I swear I am not making this up.
All I look up is Pepe, a mythical serpent from a lake in Mississippi.
Mm-mm.
And then I see some article about sea serpents that are like in the Gulf.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, no, that's interesting.
Yeah, no, like I can tell you straight up with like, I can tell you I am not fucking crazy. I can tell you like I am completely of sound mind. Like, I know what I saw. So like things like sea serpents and stuff like that, I believe it because I have seen one.
Yeah.
Like, I straight up have seen
Rover
one.
Channel. Here's that clip. Take a look.
And also, like, the ocean is a very dark and mysterious place.
Oh, yeah.
Where
no,
we
like,
don't know too much about.
There's too much that we don't know about the ocean, and quite frankly, there are just some things that may pop out that we have never seen before, and it's normal because, well, we haven't really looked that far into it.
Mm-hmm. Like shit, like with the sea serpent, I can even tell you how its neck was positioned too.
Yeah.
It looked like, you know what it actually kind of reminded me of?
What did it remind you of?
Tanistropheus.
Tenestropheus?
Tanistropheus.
I do not know what that is.
Look it up. Actually, no. Hang on. Let me just hang on. Let me send you a picture of it. But that's kind of like what the head and neck looked like. It wasn't obviously that fucking long because I didn't get to see the rest of the body, but just how the neck was. It had this little like reptilian head. Like, it was clearly had a organic reptilian look to it. Yeah, that's what it kind of reminded me of.
Tennis.
We hear water down there too. There's like a
Those
whole
things.
river down there or something.
Yeah, but that's what the head and neck kind of reminded me of. Okay. We're glad they actually dropped that. Good lord, that goes down for a while. Jesus.
Yep, that is a deep hole. That is.
Yeah, like that. Maybe a mine shaft? Oh shit.
Yep, that's a whole river cavern.
Yeah, it
River
is.
down there, so.
I don't know why that's even there. Oh god, that is making me fucking sick. Jesus.
Yeah,
Oh, there we go. Yeah, maybe it's a mine shaft then. Yeah, possibly. Oh, what the fuck?
Mhm.
That is clearly breathing.
There's something moving. No, there's.
Yeah.
You can hear what sounds to be footsteps walking around the camera and breathing near the mic. Not knowing what they actually captured on camera, they took the footage home and posted it online. And they have plans to go back with an even better camera setup. So definitely go follow their page for any updates.
Yeah, no, like that's honestly like I don't know how you would explain that. Like that is like legit honest to god breathing.
Yep. Oh.
This last creepy video comes from Mandy ASMR.
Oh, okay, that wasn't too
And
bad.
after many strange occurrences,
That was an
while in her
ASMR
home
stream.
near the Appalachian
Yeah,
Mountains,
that was
she
totally
set up
ASMR.
night vision security cameras to see if she could
No, they
catch
even said
anything.
like sort of an
And
ASMR
she posts
channel.
all these videos
That's
to
funny,
her
actually.
TikTok channel in hopes that her followers can explain what's going on to somewhat ease her mind. But in my opinion, this next video is the creepiest one on her page. But she's
I don't
got
know,
a
let's-
lot more, so definitely
Let
go
us
check her out.
see.
Here's that clip. And as always, let me know what you think.
Volume up, okay. Okay.
Whistling?
Yeah. Now, I have heard like there's like a folklore about a whistling man, but I think that's a Mexican thing.
I think.
I think so, yeah. But I know that's like one of the golden rules of the Appalachian mountains is to never whistle in the woods.
You can hear what sounds like distant whistling
Yeah,
in the woods.
that I
near her
remember.
home, and
Do
also
not whistle in the
somebody
woods, do
voicing
not.
Yeah.
And this left her and her followers terrified. And in case you made it this far, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
because like one of the things that's like don't whistle at night in the woods because that's inviting something to come and get you. Another one is like if you hear something, no you didn't. If you hear someone call your name, no you didn't. That is just inviting something.
Yeah, the old superstition, like things to keep yourself safe.
Yeah, like people who live in the Appalachian Mountains always lock their doors and close their windows at night. Just due to I guess some supernatural forces that might try to invite
Other things to enter your home. your
Today,
residence.
Yeah.
what I
Also,
do best.
now we're gonna watch this one little video that's called the horror entities of the Appalachian Mountains. Honestly, I don't know why I've been like on an Appalachian Mountain kick as of lately because I just think it's fascinating.
It is a very
And taking the
interesting
camera
region
out into the
of North
wilderness
America
and
that has a
exploring
lot
the
of history.
Appalachian region,
Did you
searching
know that
for
apparently
the
there
footprints that have been made so
I guess there's like a
famous on the
dinosaur
internet.
a couple of dinosaur
I'll be
species that were
out here
discovered in
on
the
the
Appalachian
ground,
Mountains?
Oh
investigating
yes,
histories
there were
and
several dinosaur
legends
species.
and their
Because like
nexus with
here's the thing. During Pangea, right?
Mhm.
The Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah.
Was part of. I think it was either one of the second continents or a very very specific region of Pangea that was just called
Yeah.
Appalachia. And
Right.
it was the Appalachian Mountains,
Right.
the majority of northern Europe, and parts of
Oh.
West Africa.
Right. Yeah, because like when so like when the Earth was like formed, you had the supercontinent, which lasted for let's be honest here, like it lasted for quite a while, like Pangea. Because
Yeah,
if I
no,
remember
and-
if I remember my history correctly, Pangea lasted from like I want to say from not Devonian. It's not Devonian.
Permian.
Was it Devonian?
I think it's
Carboniferous?
pre-Cambrian.
Pre-Cambrian or something like that. But anyway, they're old. Like they are very, very old. And then when Pangea broke up, it broke up into two. You had Laurasia and Gondwana land, and then Gondwana land broke up. Laurasia broke up, and I think Laurasia broke up into, I want to say, South America, Africa, I want to say, Australia, and I think like all the other islands in between there.
Antarctica. Yeah.
Antarctica, yeah.
So,
like honestly though, like Antarctica has actually been frozen for like not too long. Actually, it's actually been relatively recently.
Yeah, that is a more recent development. But there are quite a few dinosaurs within the Appalachia regions that share an ancestry with other dinosaurs that you would find back in Europe. And
because like there is a I think there's a hadrosaur. I think it's an iguanodontid. I think it's an iguanodontid, or it's either that or it's a hadrosaur, but it's called the Appalachiosaurus.
Yes.
And then there's actually a species of tyrannosaur that's also been found in the Appalachian Mountains. Let me see. Let me see here. Let's see, Appalachia Saurus, I think it is. Yeah, Appalachiosaurus. Oh, I'm sorry, Appalachiosaurus is the Tyrannosaurid. My bad. Appalachiosaurid is the Tyrannosaur.
Oh, right. Because that's a Tyrannosaurid, because it's one of the Tyrannosaur species that sort of connects back to the ones that are migrated from Asia to North America or something like that.
Yeah, because looking at it, Appalachiosaurus is a very lanky... Oh, it's actually only a juvenile. It's actually a juvenile specimen.
A juvenile specimen.
Yeah, so it is part of the Eutyrannosauria clade.
Yep.
So, let's see here. So, Eutyrannosauria, so that includes Appalachiosaurus, Bogoroton, Bischia, Versor, Dryptosaur, Nanotyrannus, Raptorex, Tenatophonias, Alioramias.
Yeah.
Or Alioramus.
All those Tyrannosaurid species that are kind of long.
Yeah, the long, lanky carnivores.
Came from,
yeah.
Trying to get to the bottom of why they are.
Yeah, because when I was at the Fern Bank, they actually showed a species of Tyrannosaur, a species of Tyrannosaur and a Hadrosauran dinosaur that was actually local to the area.
And as if the Appalachian Mountains.
Fun fact, like over here in Maine, there are no dinosaurs.
I'm gonna be setting the record straight.
Yeah.
Or I might
that's bizarre.
The sediments.
I don't know. Whatever the case is,
which is part of why you see a lot in the West and not that much in the East.
Yeah.
It's just the geography.
Apparently parts of Florida were part of the Cretaceous landmass.
Oh, yes.
Like a tiny, not like a large amount, because Florida was still underwater, but like a tiny, tiny little fraction of what will become, I want to say what will become...
It was the Sea-Bering Strait or something like that.
Hang on, let me see here real quick. Because I think it's... Because I think... So I think what? The part of Florida that was part of the Cretaceous landmass, I think Maine was underwater a lot. I want to say yes. Hang on, let me see here real quick. Let's see here, Florida. Cretaceous. Cretaceous period. Because if I remember, like the landmass in Florida was largely underwater, but there was some areas that were kind of like, there was like a little tiny little jet that would become Florida. That was like above ground.
Kill, they haunt. And these things only seem to exist in the confines of the Appalachian Mountains. If you've been watching the channel for a while,
which honestly, because like I think Maine is like, yeah, Maine has like a little bit of the Appalachian Mountains, and I kind of want to go in and explore.
I've visited ghost towns. I've explored other creatures like the Dogman. I've given you a brief glimpse into the history of the culture that we have here and the past that's slowly fading away before our very eyes. But today in this video,
and that's always sad.
Like
Americana, like lore and legend and stuff like that is kind of like slowly fading away. It's kind of sad. Because like I'm gonna be real, like Americana like lore is kind of weird because you have things like the Squonk. And the Squonk is such a weird little cryptid because it's this ugly, like butt-ass ugly pig monster thing that all it can do is cry. And if you catch one, it will melt into a puddle of its own tears because it's so goddamn ugly.
Several different creatures, entities, and beings.
Mountain whales.
Haunt these
yeah, there's also the mountain whales.
Out there. The rake, the knot deer, feral humans, and the Wendigo, even though it's not actually from Appalachia. We'll touch on that later. Many of the things that you...
Honestly, though, like, I think, like, feral humans are a thing because it's a very high possibility that people just kind of go out in the woods and kind of go a little, you know, cuckoo and kind of return to beast.
It's you're out in the wilderness and you've been exposed, basically, exposure.
Yeah, like you just return to animal.
Yeah.
Nice, Lilac. Let's go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you'd be surprised how quickly a human will just return to beast.
Oh, absolutely. Like it's...
when you spend enough time just wilderness.
I mean, like, fuck, humans go stir crazy if they don't get enough human interaction within, like, I think, like, 3 to 4 days?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
we are delicate creatures. Like, I think, like, it doesn't take long for a human to go complete feral. I think, like, maybe give them, like, a couple of weeks just out in the woods by themselves and they'll have no human interaction. They start thinking that they're talking to the goddamn trees like they're the fucking Lorax. And then they'll start just prowling around hunting things like a goddamn cougar.
Yep.
Know about these beings are not actually true. And it's my job and my goal in today's video to explain that truth to you and to bring it to you in a fun way that's not boring, hopefully. So join me as I go off to the wilderness and hike, hunt, and explore.
I will say, though, like, the mountains over here in Maine are fucking gorgeous.
I'm entering their own
I don't doubt it.
domain.
Oh, it's, like, especially out here in the fall, oh my god, just sea of crimson trees and yellow trees and just, like, because, again, like, I'm coming from someone who lives in Florida.
Yeah.
Like, seeing this all for the first time, like, it's like, you guys don't know how good you have it up here.
That haunt this beautiful region. And I'm here to tell you today that the truth of the matter, it might be more scary than the actual...
Like, genuinely, it's like, you guys don't know how good you have it up
and
here.
I want to express that there are indeed monsters in the woods.
It was like Florida doesn't get that. Like, the only time we see yellow trees is not a good sign.
Yeah.
Like, if you see yellow palm trees, it's not a good sign. That means that tree is sick.
Yeah, that is a sick tree.
Yeah. No, but here, yeah, no. They are healthy trees. It's just, this is what we call seasons.
Yeah.
Is what we call seasons.
No, it's normal here. It's just the season.
So today, I'm telling their stories. I'm diving into the lore. If you love videos where I go out and explore...
Although, I'm not gonna lie, I do miss the Spanish moss.
Like this, then you're in for a treat.
Nothing says primordial as fuck like seeing like a swamp during sunrise with the mist like still clinging on and all the Spanish moss and everything. It's just something that's really primordial about it.
Yeah, it's nice little glimpses of what life
once
was like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recorded over several weeks, and I really hope you enjoy.
And then you realize that, oh yeah, there are a lot of animals in Florida that do not need to be here.
My will to not be eaten
like monkeys. Like the herpy monkeys.
Trails, and I sincerely hope.
I love whenever I explain that to people because it's like, oh yeah, we have monkeys, and they're not just regular monkeys. They're monkeys that have herpes because,
to begin this video,
of course they do.
I want to tell you about the legend.
Because why not? Because God is real and God hates Florida.
Oh, I know this one.
That it stems from the region of Appalachia.
Wait, the
For each
not
of these
deer?
creatures in the sequential order
Yeah,
that
I
I'm
know this
going
one.
over, I'll talk
This
about
is
their
a
histories,
bit
where
of
they
an
came from, all that
interesting
stuff.
trip.
Then I'll get into the
Okay.
There was an SCP
adventure,
about this guy.
looking for evidence of them.
SCP,
and kinda just
not
perusing
deer.
through their territory
Yeah, a couple-
and seeing if
You
I
mean
can
the
see
SCPs
something.
do
The
have, like, quite a
non-deer
few
is one of
actual
the most
You mean
famous
SCP,
creatures
not
on
deer?
specifically
Alright,
in the
sorry.
last couple of years. Undoubtedly, you've seen several
thought that was
videos
funny.
pop up on your page of these weird deer-like beings standing up on two legs, walking around, or maybe having kind of a weird disconfigured face. Specific examples of these creatures are said to resemble a normal American deer from a distance. But
Okay.
once you get closer to it, you realize that there's something that's off about them. Something is not right. Kind of the uncanny valley effect takes over, and
Yeah,
your
see, Tori
brain
thought it was
thinks
funny.
it's looking at something that you know, but it's not. Deer. Get it? Not deer. Even
Yeah,
though
yeah,
these
I get
not
it.
deer appear to be
Oh.
fully
Oh god, that is horrifying. If I saw that out in the woods, oh yeah, no, I'm pulling out my rifle. That thing is gonna become very well acquainted with the spirit realm.
Yep.
Like
well,
I'm
the
I'm not
animals,
taking
they move
chances with
around
Bambi over
very
there.
Strangely, like they were just born. They kind of
Yep.
writhe around and look all disjointed, sort of like a newborn deer would. Reports have claimed that they appear as if they have more bones than they should, and weird ridges and bone structures can be seen
What the fuck?
poking out from the skin.
What the
words
fuck?
ungainly or distorted are often thrown around when discussing these beings. And for good reason, too. If you saw something that looked like a creature you've seen a ton, walking around on two legs and kind of just glitching around like that, you'd think it'd be pretty weird as well. But beyond
yeah,
that,
just a
the
little
most
bit.
notable feature and the thing that everybody talks about revolves around the eyes of these alleged
Where they got, like,
beings.
more than,
When you
like,
look at
two
a
eyes?
regular deer's eyes, just a normal creature, they look almost innocent, kind of skittish and stuff. But when you
Okay.
look in the eyes of a not deer,
What the fuck?
they seem to be wise, almost human in a way, and their eyes are said to be on the front of their head, whereas a normal deer has eyes on the side of its head because it's prey. When someone has an encounter with a not deer, it's really reported to be a very awkward scene. People claim that the hairs
So do they just like so what do not deer do exactly? Do they just like do normal deer things? It's just things aren't right with them, or do they actually like
Kind of. I don't know if this is also because I understand a bit of the SCP lore, but I don't know if this is integrates also into the actual cryptid lore. The more you start to piece together that what you're looking at is not a deer, they start approaching you.
I'm sorry?
The more you start to notice they are not a deer,
Uh-huh.
they notice it. They notice that you can tell that that's not what you're looking at, and the moment they are found out, they chase your ass down and kill you.
I don't like that actually.
Yeah.
I quite don't
back
like
of their
that.
neck
I
and
don't
their
like that Sam
arms
I
kinda
am.
stand up, and they can tell from a deep point of view in their body that something is different about what they're witnessing. This is not normal. Kind of like Neanderthal and Homo habilis, how they don't really look exactly alike, and that's probably
Also, I know I keep pausing this, but like, can we also like take a moment here and just realize that human beings are like literally the last of their own species?
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, I want to preface this so bad. This is definitely where our feeling of the uncanny valley comes from.
What,
This
the not
right
deer?
here.
Or all these humans right here?
The humans, like the fact that like, think about it, like thousands, if not millions of years ago, Homo sapiens coexisted with other variants of humans.
Right.
And looking at it, you realize that, like, yes, these are all kind of human shaped, but they don't look anything like us. But like, they have the things that you would describe a human to look like, but you see it and like, that's not a person. There's
Right.
something fucky here.
Right,
And you
because
have to
we're
understand that.
because we're trained to like realize that, oh, hang on,
Or
where's my little
uncanny
cursor? There it is. Like, that's a
Yeah.
human. And then we don't see these as like other human species, right? We don't see these as other humans.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that doesn't look right because that looks like a human, but also monkey.
Yeah,
And
like,
that don't look right. Or you can't see it, but over here, Australopithecus over here, if you saw that out in the wild, you're going to be fucking creeped out because it does look human. It does look human. It walks like a human, but it's off because it has monkey feature.
yeah, there are features that are not human that kind of throw us off, and this was basically instilled into us mechanism to, survive and avoid these things that would
Right.
like attack us at night, steal our children. Like these
Yeah.
were the boogeymen.
Or things like actual wild monkeys that would actually steal our children, like
frickin'
baboons.
Dinopithecus.
Yeah, baboons, Australopithecus over there. Well, no, because like Australopithecus never really saw like a modern human, but yeah, no, they very good. They very, very good. But I'm saying like things like baboons or mandrills will go into African villages and just swipe children.
Yeah, they're saying like Dinopithecus, like supermassive baboons.
Yeah, or
would have seen us as food source.
Or hell, like Gigantopithecus, the giant, like real life King Kong.
Yeah, like
it comes from. That's the same feeling.
I mean, shit. Like there are a species of orangutan, but like, yeah, orangutans are peaceful, but also everything that's peaceful has a fucking limit.
Yeah, there's a limit.
I mean, like even orangutans, who are known for being docile, peaceful, monkeys, they also have what is called a limit, and you don't want to get on an orangutan's bad side because it's also intelligent.
Yeah,
now
they
picture
have
that,
it.
but now it's a 14-foot orangutan.
Yeah.
Who can pretty much lift you up and toss you around like Hulk did to Loki.
Yep.
They gotta come into your house, whack your wife with a club, and take her to their house.
I know that's like a joke that we see a lot, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that was really a thing that had happened to them.
Honestly, I could see that. Like, no, my wife now.
On top of that, these not deer
She
often
grog wife now.
exemplify behaviors that are not that of a regular animal. For instance, they're known to approach humans, and they do so aggressively, like they're hunting them. And if you've ever been in the woods, really that doesn't happen. Deer are pretty skittish. The most terrifying
deer are
and
prey.
most popular claim about not deer is that those who have seen them or witnessed them on trail cams have seen them stand up on two legs and walk away. And I think not deer as an entire concept,
they're like
kind of
deer that want to be
shows
human.
The visualization of the Appalachian region, right?
A little bit.
Because on the surface, it looks like a deer, but when you stare at it a little bit longer, these weird eccentricities start popping up. And by eccentricities, I mean
No, like for real, Tori. That's what I'm thinking right now.
Right, if you're visiting this region, you see how pretty it is. You see
it's gorgeous.
You see these amazing rivers and streams and valleys. You see some cool people.
Yeah,
and
it's
then once
gorgeous.
you sit there and look for a while, you see a region that's been taken advantage of and forgotten about.
Yep.
As far as the origins of the famous not deer, I can trace them back to the mid-2010s from a 4chan post. The exact date of this 4chan post is September 25th, 2014.
I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Oh yeah, I forgot. I've seen that image before. The fucking squirrel in the background. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see the squirrel in the background.
Go back a little bit, just a little bit.
Oh, yep, I see it. Yeah, there it is. It's just the deer's like, fuck no, you gotta have these apples, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Slappy. I'm sorry.
Post is September 25th, 2014, which is a long time ago at this point, and it details this poster's experience with stumbling into the woods and finding the bodies of mangled animals. A little while later, he goes back to that same area.
I'm sorry, but like, if it comes from 4chan, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt.
Kind of stalking him from the grass.
It's coming from 4chan.
I very clearly see some really, really weird looking thing.
I mean, the only cryptid that came from fucking 4chan is Chris Chan.
My path on all fours.
That's the only cryptid that turned out to be true.
Trying to learn how to walk immediately after being born. Only it doesn't look like a deer, more like a cobbled together toy of one. After seeing this thing kind of walking and stumbling around the tall grass, he then sprints back to his house and runs away. Obviously. Later that night, when the boy gets back to his house, the creature that he saw earlier seems to have followed him. And he comes and he kind of taps on its window outside, and he's kind of scratching the outside of the house while there's little poor kids inside. And he's doing
tapping on his door, but like, excuse me, can we teach you about our Lord and Savior Bambi? Bambi.
Things that terrorize the young child. Only for, at an abrupt point later in the night, this not deer outside runs away, and he's never seen again. The boy is, of course, traumatized after seeing this, and he told his story on 4chan. Now, right off the bat, that does read like a creepypasta from the early 2010s.
Yeah.
We've all heard them. But this is the earliest that I could trace back. To
Yeah,
something
no,
that's
like,
not like a
if it comes from
creepypasta.
4chan and it sounds like a
That's as far as it
creepypasta,
goes. Another
it's a
thing that sticks out
creepypasta.
to me about the story of the not deer and its discourse online is the similarities that it has to the Wendigo. Now, the Wendigo is not actually...
It's furries. Oh my god, yeah, it's the fucking furries.
And I'll get to that in a second. But the two stories have a lot of similarities, especially...
Like, my god.
These ungainly beasts kind of walking around.
Oh yeah, the Wendigo.
Like they're wearing the skin.
Oh my god. Oh my god, speaking of furries, hi Cora.
Oh.
Oh my god, it's like speak of the devil show up here. Hi Cora, welcome in. Welcome in, hon. How are you doing? Hello everyone, I am Grarl. I am a T-Rex VTuber. How you doing? Thank you for the raid. How you doing? I am a T-Rex VTuber. I'm a variety streamer. I like to yap about a lot of things. Warhammer 40k, Godzilla, Kamen Rider, Zoids, Gundam, dinosaurs, and then now we're talking about spooky stuff. Oh my god, how was your stream, Cora? everyone go follow Cora's like one of my good friends. I love this little dog. Can I pet that dog, Cora? Can you want to be my little lap dog? Can I pet you? Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? No, seriously though, everyone go follow Cora. She's fucking amazing. She is sweet as hell, but she is also can be so cursed as hell. I love you, Cora. I absolutely fucking love you. You're amazing. And also, like I said, thank you again for the raid. No, it's just properly timed. Someone mentioned in chat about furries, and then next thing you know, you just pop up.
Yep.
It's hilarious. Stream was good. Was doing. I want to play that game. I'm actually gonna be playing that.
Sort of bloodlust.
Because you're a hot goblin. You are a hot goblin. Okay. Look, there are many. Look, there are many goblin out there, but no, like you're one of the hottest goblins ever, Cora. Don't ever say otherwise. You are a hot goblin.
Cora is a pretty goblin.
And she is a pretty goblin.
One smooch.
But yeah, no, I am going to be playing that for my birthday celebration stream next week. And I'm going to wear a pretty little dress, and I'm going to be the prettiest fucking goblin maid at the party. I am gonna strut my shit in a maid outfit going like, ooh, what do you think about my dress? You think it makes it look nice? Oh, let me go bend over and clean up this little mess over here. I need to shut up.
Yes, you do.
I need to shut up. Let's go. Yeah, you will. Yeah. No, it's like, oh, don't, oh no, I flipped my skirt over. Oh, goodness me. I'm gonna go back to my corner.
Yes.
I'm gonna go back to my corner.
Be described as that. But besides what I just
Hi everyone. I say a lot of Hi everyone. I like to say a lot of cursed things, and I also just might be absolutely. I might actually just be kind of crazy.
For the story is from a Reddit post from 2019.
If this is your first impression, I'm sorry.
Not deer.
Not really. I'm not sorry.
Not really any basis
I'm not that sorry.
Or religion that talks about
Tori, you hush.
Other than maybe a shape-shifting demon.
You fucking hush.
The Not Deer kind of stands on its own as a campfire story. And I think that's what it works as perfectly. Even if these creatures aren't real, which they might be, I don't know. It is the
you fucking hush. You want to join the fucking maid outfit group? You want to join the fucking maid outfit group? Is that what you want?
Can behave slightly off. Really intrigue us, and that's why you're all watching this video.
And here I am with my good friend here. We're trying to be educated about horrors beyond our comprehension in the Appalachian Mountains, and then you derail it about maid talk. How dare you, Tori? How fucking dare you?
Man, I'm just here, man.
How dare you? And look at me. I have a very nice hat, I will have you know too. Oh. I'm all dressed up for the occasion.
These legends and rumors and tales have been passed down
Are
forever,
clearly for men.
or in this
Uh-huh.
case, a decade. Skeptics of the
Oh, yeah?
not deer
They're clearly
theory
meant for men?
say that the people that see these creatures
that so?
are simply witnessing animals that are infected.
I thought this was a normal Grarl stream. Yeah, it is a normal Grarl stream. Hi, I'm Grarl Brown. I also am completely fucking insane. Well, welcome to the crazy show, everybody. Welcome to the show. Buckle in. No, there's no refunds here. There's no getting off the crazy ride. Enjoy the show.
With the chronic wasting disease, which is pretty much this deer zombie virus that makes their skin kind of
Wait, what?
rot away and them to behave opposite of how a deer would. When deer are dealing
excuse
with chronic
me?
wasting disease, they approach humans, they foam with
Yes.
the mouth.
Oh,
they're
he's still on the
flexible with their
not
body,
deer.
They look like a zombie, and they
Yes.
do indeed exhibit the behaviors that are not deer, and they move like they just got born. Whatever the case is,
Like
I
a body
to have
possession
whimsy.
thing.
I
It's
wish
like a-
these things were real.
Oh,
Like I
that-
said, I think cryptids like this are so
Oh, shit.
interesting to talk about and look for and research because that's just what they are. The scariness is in the fact that they're just little critters, little goblins in the woods that can't really do harm.
Goblin
but
these nuts
they're
in the
just
woods.
terrifying enough.
Oh God, no!
Go out
Please
there.
go the fuck away.
Whatever the case
Stop
is,
cutting to that
go out,
picture.
Hit the trail and see if we can stir up
No.
a not deer, maybe a feral human, maybe anything else that's out there. I don't know. Let's go see what we can do.
Look, honestly, if you want to see a feral human, just go to Florida. I can vouch for that. So I have a funny, like a weird and funny story about like a crazy Florida man experience.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was stationed in I was stationed in Orlando, right? Because I could say this because I no longer go there, but I was stationed in Orlando, and because I was on my military duty because I was in the Army. So I was going to my family's timeshare to stay for that weekend, and I wanted to go to 7-Eleven and get something to eat because I make horrible dietary choices at night. So I come in, and this is right after I get off of military duty, so I'm still in my uniform. And so I go to the 7-Eleven and I buy I buy a pack of sour gummy worms because that's just like my fucking jam. And so I'm like wandering around. I get like my drink and my snacks and all that kind of stuff. I get to the cash register. And this like old crow of a woman comes up and looks at me. And she goes, "Are you in the Army?" And I'm like, yes, ma'am. I'm in the Army, yes, ma'am. I just got off work." And just you could feel like this awkward silence cutting in, and as soon as I was about to about to buy like my stuff, and she just looks at me and she goes, "Are you in the Army, man, sir?" I'm like, "Yes, ma'am, I'm in the Army." And then like just out of nowhere, she just goes, "Oh, so are you gonna shoot me?" And I'm like, no. No, I'm not gonna shoot you, ma'am. She goes, "Oh, well, I guess I gotta shoot you then." I'm like, "I'm getting the fuck out of here." And she looked like she was about to reach for something. I'm like, "Oh, I'm getting the hell out of here."
Yep.
No, like, true fucking story. And ever since then, I never went back to that 7-Eleven. Not once. Like I said, if you want weird feral creatures, just go to Florida.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, go to fucking Florida. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Look at this YouTuber. Who's YouTuber? The West Virginia Wilderness. Endless Wall Trail. Supposedly a location where you can find the things we're talking about in this video. Allegedly. So we're out here today to try to find it. You're coming with me. We have a wild man in the woods. This is a feral human right here.
That's just called a Florida man.
Earlier today, I was whitewater rafting in the New River Gorge National Park, New River Gorge. Newest national.
Honestly, I kind of want to go White River Rapid, like whatever.
Yeah.
I want to do that, but at the same time, I'm like, that shit looks dangerous.
Yeah.
That shit genuinely looks dangerous, and I don't know if I want to risk it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man.
A park out here. I didn't know that, but apparently it is. And now
Huh.
I'm out here hiking this trail. There's like nobody out here. It's a Saturday, but it is beautiful.
I mean, like, over here, like, where I live in Maine, there is, like
I
a
said in the
few,
Appalachian video, the Dogman
like,
video,
hiking trails that are gorgeous to look at.
Yeah.
wise
Like,
almost.
gorgeous,
Very
gorgeous,
different
gorgeous,
from the
gorgeous.
West Coast woods in the Northeast.
Like, you don't find that shit here in Florida. You don't find that shit there.
Hopefully so. I'm not alone, so maybe that'll attract whatever these things are. Who knows?
See, a part of me, like I mentioned earlier, I kind of want to go to the Appalachian Mountains just to kind of fuck around and find out, but I'm also like, I kind of don't want to piss off whatever's in there that could, you know, end my life in the most horrifically possible known to man.
Yep.
Where my booty hole will become my outer booty hole. Yeah, but why would you go during it at night? Because okay, so the reason why I went to the convenience store at night is because we got off late, because that's just how mechanics work, because fuck mechanics, basically. So we got off like late. And because we got off like super fucking late, I was just like, I had a long day. I say, fuck this, fuck my diet. I am just gonna go get some candy. Fuck this.
Post for me, baddies.
Slim Thick, no tummy.
That's why.
On the video, by the way.
And that's pretty much what I said the entirety whenever I injured my back. I'm like, fuck my diet. And now I'm regretting it. Now I'm trying to lose all that weight.
Nearing the top here, perhaps? Not too bad so far. Not near as bad as the Kmore Mines incident. Real runs remember that.
Which, to be honest, 7-Eleven has a lot of really good exclusive candy.
Wow. That's we were literally down there.
That is really good. See, this is why I love the north up here. Is you get stuff like this that you cannot replicate in like places like Florida.
Yeah.
Like, that's so pretty.
It's insane, dude. Sure is beautiful up here for cursed land, like the internet says.
Nah, if you want to see cursed land, just go to 4chan. I say that, and I've actually been on 4chan many a times during my youth. More than I would like to admit. I have seen horrible things on 4chan. Honestly, though, have you ever been on, like, gone on, like, a nature trail where it leads to, like, an outcropping like that? And it just overlooks an entire, like, valley? Have you ever had that experience before, Hollow?
Sorry, repeat that?
I said, have you ever been on, like, a nature trail?
Down there.
Have you ever been on, like, a nature trail and you just, like, follow the trail until it leads you to, like, this giant outcropping, and you just overlook this entire, like, valley?
Only a couple times.
It makes you, I'm not gonna lie, it makes you feel kind of powerful.
It's definitely a very interesting feeling.
You
Like, being able to overlook.
you feel like you can ore farm like a motherfucker just standing there.
Yeah, and it's just like standing there like a badass, like, yeah. look at
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, what I take one trip and I'm gonna see then I'm gonna see God. You have the smaller scale than this.
That's where we were rafting earlier. Those breaks right there, that was like the second rapid we did. This isn't a vibe. I don't know what.
I'm not gonna lie, I do actually would love to go camping in the Appalachian Mountains. Be fun.
Yeah.
Obviously not during the winter. Also, I will say though, like living up here in the north as opposed to like Florida, I have learned a lot of things that were like beyond like unheard of down there. So like apparently you need to not only get snow tires, but you also need to get like a radiator
So now that I'm back
fluid
from the
like
trail,
change.
Then I find a large carnivorous
Like you need to have like radiator change fluid, like or something like that, and then also you need your car to have like an undercoat spray or something like that. I'm like, can I just go back to Florida where the only thing I got to worry about is fucking water?
beast that walks on 2 feet.
It's a lot.
No, I didn't. But I did get to explore a beautiful region in a forgotten part of the country, which most people overlook. I mean, you saw the things that were there and the beauty that they offer. I had a fantastic day on that specific one. I went whitewater rafting, I went hiking, got some amazing local food, met some amazing people. And even though I had the aim of searching for this horrific monster, I found quite the opposite, actually.
I will
found
say
people
though
I
that
really relate to, and people
up here in the north, very nice.
Deer is that they don't have to be based in reality. They don't
Very
have
nice
to have
people.
weight to them, because if they're real, they're real, and if they're not, they're not, because you can't really prove otherwise.
My God, that's
right? It's definitely an entertaining story.
My God,
It's
that's
definitely
fucking mind blowing. If they're real, they're real. If they're not, they're not.
Woods, and no matter the case, we have no idea
My God.
what goes on deep in the wilderness here. For the next creature in this video, I will be discussing the Wendigo and the misconceptions and the inconsistencies.
The Wendigo, or you mean the Wendigoon? Oh wait, no, that's a completely
But this is an
different
entity
person.
that's much more spiritual, much more based in history, and in fact, carries a lot more weight to it.
Yeah, this one is gonna involve like a lot about like Native American like folklore and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which if I remember correctly, it's basically just like an allegory for like cannibalism and like don't do, eating your fellow tribesmen is not good, and if you eat them, you will become basically a zombie.
Yeah, it is a. I wish I could remember the exact details, but it's basically like an old like folklore warning. Of,
Yeah.
Like don't commit these acts because that is morally incorrect for us to be doing to ourselves.
Right.
And to do so would turn you into a monster in the eyes
to go
of
out into the woods,
our
And then
people.
it turns you into the Wendigoon.
The Wendigoon.
Appalachia, and hike around and explore, and a feral human attacks you while you're journeying, you're gonna want to have somebody on your side that you can trust. And that somebody might be
Yeah, Morgan and Morgan!
America's largest personal injury law firm. Morgan & Morgan has over 1,000 attorneys that
They're the theme park's favorite customer because of all the people I eat and all the lawsuits that happen that ensue.
operate
Morgan
in
and
all 50
Morgan.
states. So you'll have someone to back you up wherever you're at. Your injury could be worth millions. And Morgan
You hear that,
do
chat?
not
Your
settle
injury
for
can be
low
worth
offers.
millions, so
Insurance companies often
go
lowball
out
their
to the
clients.
Appalachian
So it's very
Mountains
important
and
to
get
work
mauled by a
hard that they
Wendigo
get you the money you deserve.
and call Morgan and Morgan.
Client. They achieved significant verdicts in the past couple months for
Please don't
victims
do that.
were involved in life-altering crashes, like $12 million in Florida, which is 34 times the highest insurance offer, or $26 million in Philadelphia, which is 40 times the highest insurance offer. And the best part is, it's absolutely free.
Yeah, I will
So
say
if
that
you
like
ever
the
got
insurance rate in
seriously
Florida
injured,
is
your case
fucking
could be worth
astronomical.
millions, and you're only a few clicks away.
Like, I'm gonna be real, I had to fight tooth and nail to keep my car insurance the same price because they kept wanting to raise it because the part of Florida that I lived in was so notoriously bad for things like drivers and tourists coming in and acting up and vandalizing the place. So yeah, no, like it was just, I'm like, no, I'm not paying that. What was the bare minimum? I will pay the bare minimum.
From potentially changing your life. It's so easy, and you can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan at www.forthepeople.com/spoogly, which can be found in the description or by scanning the QR
Spoogly
code
these
on your
nuts.
screen from your phone's camera.
Got
Thank you
'em.
to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to it.
The real Wendigo. Okay.
Like with most things, the internet has bastardized and misconstrued the entire story.
True, because like
Wendigo entity.
Yeah, because like
Very.
nowadays when people think of the Wendigo, they think of this long, lanky, hairy, like deer-looking thing with like a wolf head and antlers. When really, this is pretty much what they look like. Very ghoulish, not vampiric, but just very ghoulish, like zombie-like humans that just they're just humans that just commit cannibalism.
Yeah, these pale, gaunt things. Based like if Gollum was big and scary,
And was
It's
somehow
not
Native
always
American.
yeah.
Truthfully, as I've said multiple times in this video, the Appalachian region cannot take credit or even be the home of this being. But of course, the World Wide Web has conjoined the two together and created this almost stigma that they are somehow intertwined. So now I want to tell you about the real story of the Wendigo. The legends of these spirits originate from the Algonquin peoples of the Great Lakes region. And rather than Wendigos being big, lanky, pale beasts, you know the one you're thinking of, you've probably seen pictures of them. They actually don't even have one single form that you can attribute to them. And on top of that, they're much more grounded in reality.
Yeah, because like, so like the Wendigo that we usually see online is like I guess you could say is a heavily romanticized version of it.
Yes.
Greed, gluttony, the freezing cold, death, isolation, and bloodlust, which again, they're all human emotions. The story of the Wendigo is really about reaching the darkest recesses of human nature, and what we will do when we're overcome with hunger and angst and isolation, like I said. Will we become that proverbial beast that you've seen Hollywoodified, or will we keep our humanity and not fall victim to it?
Yeah, so basically Wendigos are just the personification of like your carnal, deepest, darkest desires, but just cranked up to 20.
Yep.
That's essentially what they are.
These are the themes that you need to be thinking of when discussing the Wendigo.
Not a
Some
big
people
snarly
do claim
monster.
that the creature's natural physical appearance is that large humanoid thing with a deer head and antlers and blood from its teeth and flesh missing, and that they have this insatiable desire to eat people and to have blood consumed inside of them. That's one version of the story for sure, but I don't think it's the one that the Algonquin peoples are telling, as far as I can see.
No.
The story
No,
I
like it's
want
a
to
heavily
tell you
romanticized version.
Involves a symptom and a disease known as the Wendigo psychosis. And yes, I said symptom and disease because it's both. This is the feeling that a human is overcome with when they find themselves starving, in dire need of food and sustenance, but their brain convinces them that the only way to survive that is by cannibalism. The most famous example throughout history of Wendigo psychosis is from the very, very famous and infamous story of the Swift Runner tribesmen. I'll tell you about that in a second, because the first instance of Wendigo psychosis being actually coined was in a publication known as the Jesuit Relation. The Jesuit...
Yeah, and that's the other thing is like, I think honestly, like, Wendigos are like one of my favorite, like, monsters, I guess you could say, just because they are steeped very heavily in like basic human, you know what makes us human, basically.
Yeah.
It's just when we just give in to those monsters, basically, that we kind of come up in our own heads.
Yeah, the humans. It is something that is buried within the human psyche that we do our best to not necessarily just keep away, but like to
keep it at bay, keep it placid.
To not allow it to exist. It's quite frankly the worst parts of the id, as I would consider it.
Pretty much, yeah.
When the worst parts of the id decide to manifest and push themselves forward into your into your consciousness.
Right, and like you mentioned before, and it's not just like things like roar, I'm gonna eat people. No, it's things like, greed as well. Greed is also a contributing factor to the Wendigo. So like you could be extremely greedy, and it could personify as a Wendigo.
Yep.
And yeah, it's also the personification of the biting cold, because the winter is a harsh and devastating environment to be in, because they also can quickly bring out the worst in humanity. Things like there have been multiple stories where people have been isolated in the cold, and in order to survive, they've had to eat other people. They gave into those deep, deep, dark thoughts, and they finally snapped, and they just decided to go, running horse over there just keeled over the other day, and he's looking kind of tasty right now.
Yep.
I'm gonna fucking eat him.
Relation is kind of a chronicle book pamphlet thing that tells the story of missionaries visiting the Great Lakes region, spreading their doctrine in the 1600s. They met with many North American tribes as well as Canadian tribes, and an entry to this document reads as follows. What caused us greater concern was the news that met us upon entering the lake, that the men deputed by our own conductor for the purposes of summoning the nations to the North Sea and assigning them a rendezvous where they were to wait our coming, had met their deaths the previous winter in a very strange manner. Those poor men, according to the report given to us, were seized with an ailment unknown to us.
Yeah, so
but
basically
not
they
very
just went
unusual
crazy.
among the people we were seeking. They were afflicted with neither lunacy, hypochondria, nor frenzy, but have a combination of all the species of disease.
Yeah, so they just basically just went feral. It's a fancier way of saying like they went feral.
This makes them so ravenous for human flesh that they pounce upon women, children, and even upon men like veritable werewolves, and devour them ferociously without being able to appease or glut their appetite, ever seeking fresh prey, and the more greedily, the more they eat.
And you know what it also kind of sounds like?
Yeah.
Rabies.
Yeah.
Like it legitimately sounds like. Now, granted, I've never heard this story before, but from what it's sounding like is that it sounds like these Native Americans went feral, maybe contracting rabies, or they ate a mushroom in the forest, and also might have contracted rabies. I'm not sure, but I'm going to probably assume it's maybe rabies, because rabies will make you go, well, feral, make you kind of go nuts. I mean, I could be wrong.
This ailment attacked our deputies, and as death is the sole remedy amongst these simple people for checking such acts of murder, they were slain in order to stay the course of their madness. So that was a story way back from the 1600s.
Or again, hear me out now. Hear me out. Or maybe it's a person with psychosis like schizophrenia who just went full blown feral.
Yeah.
That could also be the case.
It's about missionaries coming over, and their guides that were supposed to meet them and take them in, they fell victim to Wendigo psychosis, which is they described as this frenzied werewolf bloodlust where men pounce upon men to consume them. It really is a story of desperation and death. And it's a reminder to us humans that we really have not transcended the mark of being an animal. And it's in those
humans are very, very capable of returning to animal.
That dark
or
beast
I should say more of an animal, because humans are animals. Humans are a type of ape. We are animals. We're just a very highly sophisticated animal.
Yeah, we think in the abstract, and we have advanced ourselves pretty far that we have found ways to keep ourselves out of the food chain, but so, that's not always necessarily true.
Right, because like even with these men, they have found that they too are not resistant, and they can in fact go and return back to being a feral beast.
Yep.
Each of us can come out. But like I briefly mentioned earlier, far and away the
it just takes the certain mindset
Wendigo psychosis
and the right
is
conditions.
The Swift Runner story, which you probably heard a million times. So I'm gonna.
I was just kidding about a guy named like Swift Runner or Swift
Runner was a
Horse or whatever.
Guide in the Cree
I was just
tribe
bullshitting
in
about that, but
1800s.
okay, that's his actual
as far
name.
As we know in the historical record, He grew up, he had a normal life, he got married, and he had 6 kids. Now, Swift Runner's life would be turned upside down when all the buffalo were killed by the colonists. And
okay, yeah, okay. Now things are starting to make
took
sense.
To the bottles, and it changed him deeply on a spiritual level. He went from
Yep. Okay, that's starting to make sense now. Yeah, because if you don't know your American history, so bison were such a numerous animal in North America. It was kind of crazy about just how common bison were. And during the expansion of the Northwest and things to places like California and stuff like that, especially when it came around to the railroad, they just told people to just grab your guns, and they would actually make stops, actually stop their trains just for people just to shoot the bison, because they were just seen as just so numerous. And they wouldn't eat the meat. They wouldn't, skin them for their pelts. They would just kill them and let the vultures have them. And this would keep going up until the bison almost went extinct. And bison were also, for the most part, an important food source for Native Americans.
From being this kind, lighthearted man to being angry and hostile. And as such, his tribe kicked him out and his family, with 6 kids, into the wilderness. When this happened,
oh yeah, here we go. Yep. So basically, let's repeat that again.
He took
as much as I want to stay, I'm gonna have to hop out of here for now.
Sure thing.
Yeah, I'll see you guys all later.
All right, see you, Hollow.
Spiritual level. He went from being this kind.
Yeah, so basically, his tribe basically just kicked him out because they were like, yeah, no, you kind of fell off and you started hitting the sauce. We need you to leave.
Lighthearted man to being angry and hostile. And as such, his tribe kicked him out and his family, with 6 kids, into the wilderness.
And this is also like a recipe for disaster, because this will breed a feral person.
His wife and his 6 children deep into the timber to try to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Only when the next spring came, one man walked out of the wilderness, and it was Swift Runner. He immediately began blabbering this story and weaving this web to anybody that would listen. Everybody starved to death. There was no hope. We all died, and I myself came the closest, but managed to claw my way out of the wilderness.
Yeah.
However, his wife's family, noticing that their son-in-law came back without their daughter, quickly realized that this man was not starving at all. They said he was too fat to be starving. Eventually, to prove it, he was forced to take tribesmen back to their camp where Swift Runner set up and show them the starved bodies.
Yeah. We put most of our evolutionary points into cognition, still can't plan for the long run. No, exactly. Exactly. Like, it's really, and again, like what we were just talking about earlier, it is quite fascinating just how little it takes to fully break a person and for a person to fully return back to being an animal. It takes so little, right? It takes so little. The only thing that's really kind of separates you from like just going full-blown feral is your conscience. Your sense of, your sense of morality is pretty much the only thing that will keep you from going full-blown animal.
But what happened when they arrived there was more disgusting and
because once that's off the chain, there is no going back. Or if there is, it's a long shot.
Back at camp, they saw the partially consumed bodies of the entire family. They saw pots filled with flesh and bones being chopped up with flesh still on them, and immediately Swift Runner knew that the jig was up and he was cooked. He then claimed that the spirit of the Wendigo infected his brain and made him do these things. It overtook him and he had no control. Nevertheless, if that was the case or not, Swift Runner was hanged by the neck until dead soon after. This is the perfect example of the true Wendigo spirit, this evil talisman of death and destruction. It is buried deep inside every single person. We've just never had to experience.
It just, like I said, it just takes of just one or two little things here and there to make a man completely and utterly break, and then that comes out.
That level of desperation. So you can believe that indeed a Wendigo is a giant creature with a deer head that eats people and consumes people in the woods of Appalachia and the Great Lakes, or you can believe the more truthful thing.
See, I believe
that
so.
Evil is inside of everybody.
So for me, I believe, honestly, for me, I think that version of the Wendigo is probably the scariest, and I think it's probably a lot more scarier than the big snarly monster that, you know, is half decayed and it's got this fucking deer skull head and it's got blood coming out of it. See, that to me is like, yeah, okay, that's a nice campfire story, but like, no, what's scary is the real monster. To me, sometimes to me, it's the things where it's human, but you can't reason with it. To me, that is a hallmark of a true monster. Also, we're about to go into an ad break, so let me go pee real quick, and then we will finish this up when I get back. All right, chat. Did you guys go pee? Did you guys get something to drink? All right. Yes, yeah. We'll finish up this video and then probably call it there, just because like it is a very lengthy video. And like the thing is, like, I love talking about things like the Wendigo and stuff because it is a very fascinating subject. Just because it involves like a lot of like stuff about, you know, psychology and all that other kind of stuff. And like it dives a lot into the human brain. And that's what I was saying before the break are like those who were people that just lost all trace of their humanity, where it's like you want to reason with them because they're human, they look like you, but they're so far gone, they're so far, you know, far gone, lost all sense of humanity that you cannot reason with them. And to me, that's terrifying. That and things like cosmic horror, where it's so beyond our own comprehension that it's maddening. And that in the grand scheme of the cosmos, like with cosmic horror, is that they don't care. You are nothing. But yeah, no, like, hey Jeed, how you doing?
And it just peeks out in moments like Swift Runners. You don't need a 15-foot tall monster in the woods to make this scary. In fact, I would argue it's more scary that it's just a spirit that infects people and causes them.
No, exactly. Like I mentioned, like, I'm doing good. Like right now we're just talking about the Wendigo and the horrors of the Appalachian Mountains. But yeah, no, like honestly, I prefer the Wendigo where it's this man that has lost all sense of humanity and is just eating people, instead of the big giant scary, quote unquote scary, you know, hairy monster with the not the goat head, but like the deer head and missing skin. And it goes beyond the scary part and just kind of, it's so fantastical that you can't really like look at it straight without like kind of like going like, okay, that's kind of cool, or kind of laughing just because of how over the top it is.
To consume others. Whatever the case is, the pop culture version of the Wendigo is indeed cool. It's a great thing to watch.
Yeah, it's a cool design.
And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that it's been visualized in that way, but to set the record straight, that's probably not what it is. And it's definitely not in the Appalachian region. And for the record, none of us on this hiking trip were overtaken with Wendigo psychosis. Just putting that out there. But wrapping up the video through this quick interlude, I want to discuss probably the most famous instance of creatures in the woods of Appalachia. And I'm talking about the feral humans that ever...
Yeah, because like feral humans are a very real thing. And like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't take long for a man to go completely feral. Like, humans need other humans to interact. Like basically in our entire being, like our sanity and stuff revolves around being social with other people. If you remove that aspect, if you were to drop a human being into the woods, right? If you were to drop a human being into the woods with zero contact, they will go feral. I don't know if you hear my finger snap, but like that, like, just in an instant, like within, like, give them like a week or two, they will start going feral and go ooga booga.
Buddy loves to discuss, so let's do it. The concept of feral humans is something that intrigues people all across the country, and the world for that matter. The idea that these wild men exist beyond the bounds of society, out in the hills and the hollers, it's something of a fairy tale. It simultaneously intrigues and also terrifies the average person. Wild men, feral humans, whatever you want to call them, tales of them have existed for many, many years. Feral humans are often brought up as it relates to national parks, specifically the Great Smoky Mountain National Park in the Appalachian Mountains. Oftentimes,
because like it's very easy for a person to get lost in the Smoky Mountains and just live under the radar for decades almost, and just go completely like return to caveman.
These wild men are said to steal cattle and other animals, as well as crops, and even children in some old reports. Some of the disappearances that they're accredited with are very high profile. You've probably heard about the Dennis Martin case. If you haven't, you've not been on the internet for very long. In that case, one of the theories is that a feral human took Dennis away. However, that's probably not true, and I'm actually inclined to believe that there was some insidious behavior from Dennis's own parents.
Probably.
To go missing. I don't even think he was there that
Because
day.
I remember
There are
researching
other
about
cases
this.
of hikers being in the woods, claiming they're being watched from a distance by a large, hairy man, just kind of staring at them. Feral humans are said to be ungroomed, often stinky, wild men that exist.
They smell like a
deep in the
Discord
hollows
mod.
of trees and stuff in the mountains. In every single way, they live fully off the land. They get their own food, water, enjoyment out of the wilderness. And I think that kind of scares some individuals. The idea that in modern society, in a country so forward-thinking as the Americas, that people still choose to live in the boonies. Over on the website called the Southern Highlander, they have a entry from a long time ago called The Wild Man of the Woods. And this describes several encounters with these so-called feral people that
I mean, shit. Well, you managed to find like feral, like, well, I mean, like, I guess you could say feral, but like just lost tribesmen, like, you know, like the Amazon rainforest or like in Southeast Asia. Like, it wouldn't put it past me if there are feral humans in the Appalachian Mountains. Like, it would not put it past me.
I want to read to you right here. In 1877, a party of gold miners traveling through the Globe Valley in Caldwell County, North Carolina, encountered what they described as a wild man. Although they only got within 40 yards of the man, one miner claimed that this peculiar specimen of humanity appeared to be a giant 6 foot 5 inches with a funnel-shaped head and 2-inch long dark hair covering his body.
Wait,
When
a
he spotted the
funnel-shaped
miners,
head?
He pounded on his chest before turning and bounding off into the woods with the speed of a deer. The party tracked him with guns drawn to a cave deep in the mountains where they found bones of many animals scattered about, indicating that he'd been living there for a long time. Now, this
It wouldn't
story is
surprise me.
actually very common, and stories like it abound across real life and the internet. Quite literally, it's not an exaggeration to say there are hundreds of other ones that are very, very similar. And these days,
Yeah, I mean, like, it wouldn't put it past me.
Civil War period, and even before. In 1896, there was reports of a very, very strange being, and even a sketch that came from it titled "Wild Man of Chilawi." 4 hunters encountered this wild man over in eastern Tennessee, and they said that he was large and had a beard that went down to his waist. He had talon-like fingernails and was definitely a wild man. They even claimed that he had tusks instead of teeth, and he seemed more animalistic than human. 4 hunters, thinking they had the man outnumbered, attempted to haul him in, detain him, and take him back to the county.
I mean, honestly, if I were the hunter and I saw this, I would probably just take this man in like, just take him in dead. Like, just for safety for like everybody around, I would just probably just take him in dead.
But he was too strong, he overpowered them, and he ran back into the wilderness. And if that story is to be believed, later in 1896, they sent an entire posse into the woods to apprehend this feral human, and they ended up getting him, and they sent him to an insane asylum where he lived out the rest of his days.
Oh, you know, that works too.
These wild men are not necessarily native and geo-locked in Appalachia either. There are reports across the country. In 1883, the wild man of Camas was apparently killed with an axe by a group of immigrants in Idaho. The story goes that he was located in the woods, and a posse of civilians went up and kind of surrounded him. There was 40 of them, and he was infuriated at the sight. He became demonic, and he became aggressive and lashed out at them. In 18...
Well, yeah, because like you have like a bunch of humans that you've probably never seen in like years and years and years and years and years, just all coming in all at once with like horses, with like guns drawn. It's like, yeah, no, that would probably make me a little feral, like make me go a little into a rage mode too. I'm just saying.
In 1971, a wild man was encountered over in West Virginia, in the Morgantown area specifically, and he was described in a newspaper as half man, half beast, and he was covered in rags. He had long, bushy, unkempt hair that was matted, and it gave him more of a gorilla-like appearance to the people of the time. This is the excerpt from the newspaper. Warden Fenton captured a wild man single-handedly in the timber near Epsworth Park at 9 o'clock this morning. A skirmish in the brush between the unknown and the warden resulted in the overpowering of the former. He is now in the county jail. A little before 9 o'clock, Al Blair telephoned the warden that a wild man was hiding under the Union Pacific Bridge west of prison. Warden Fenton hastened to the scene.
Like I said, like, wild feral humans, like I said, I believe they're out there. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and say like they're a cryptid, but what I am saying though is that, like, yeah, no, I do like to think that, like, maybe wild feral humans are kind of out there. I mean, like, it is very possible. Like, sometimes some humans, you know, they don't think well, and they just kind of go off the grid and they go fucking full-blown crazy.
Man had left his hiding, but was tracked into the timber. In a pile of brush, the warden discovered his man. As the warden appeared, the wild man made a lunge with a long club. Warden Fenton pulled out his gun and ordered the man to surrender. His hair was tousled, his shirt open and torn, and his general appearance was that of a wild man. He made no statement and put up a vigorous resistance. He was first taken to the asylum. It was stated that he had been an inmate there, but was released some 4 months ago.
Well, see, that's the other thing, though, is that, like, these feral humans could also just be escaped mental patients that just kind of just let their conditions get worse and worse until the point where they are basically no longer a civilized human. They are now just like a fucking animal now.
At this point, you're probably realizing that feral humans, wild men, they can differ completely in the reports. Some of these guys and other people, they're just people that left society and had enough of it. They just wanted to get back out to the woods and live there, you know, in peace and harmony, or they were crazy. And then there's
I think it's the latter.
Of true beasts that appear to have long nails and fangs and are ferocious hunters. They're giant.
Now, I do believe, like, yes, they might have been like ferocious hunters. Now, things like, no, they had nails and stuff like that. I think they might have had like nails just because, like, they're not gonna clip their fingernails, so that's the other thing. But I do think there are also things like they have kind of like not romanticized but demonized the traits just to kind of make the person in question seem more of like a monster rather than a human, which is extremely sad.
Giant people. Feral humans as a title kind of encompasses all of that. And in my personal opinion, I believe on a deep down level that people are intrigued by stories of feral humans and wild men and those who live amongst the timber because everybody has that wild streak inside of them, right? Every single individual would love to be that free. So we always tend to find things interesting.
Like sitting there saying like you want to live off the grid, which is fine, but also you kind of also have to be, because again, humans are a social creature. We are apes. We are a very social type of ape. And if we do not have that social interaction with other, you know, members of our species, we kind of go a little nuts. Like, yes, you can talk to animals. You can talk to other animals. But animals do not react the same way or communicate with you and or understand you like how a human can. So without that little bit of human interaction, you're gonna go a little cuckoo.
Aren't, or that we don't have. And for most of us, we're inside of this societal system bound by the chains of employment and things of that nature.
Yeah.
These wild men, they're free. Now, obviously, if they're doing bad.
Yeah, because, like, we're, like, for our everyday life, we are so tied down to everything. Like, tied down to work, tied down to bills, tied down to commitments. Like, I mean, not like relationship. Well, I mean, like, I guess you could say relationship and all that kind of stuff. But things like, we're just tied down by so much stuff. We don't really know what it's truly like to be, you know, free like these people. Like, these people, they don't have to worry. The only thing they really got to worry about is where they're going to sleep and what are they going to catch for dinner, basically.
Bad things. That's not good. But if they're just out there living, let them live. But as Bob Dylan once said, don't criticize what you can't understand. The Appalachian region for decades and decades, as long as anybody can remember, has had its fair share of slander in the media. It's been said that it's uneducated, it's unhealthy, it's backwoods, hicks, if you will. People that don't know what's good for them, they don't know what's up from down and that sort of thing. So apply that same rhetoric to people that live in the woods and have long bushy...
Which I will always say this, because like Alabama gets that bad rap of like, you know, unhinged, like, you know, illiterate hicks and all that kind of stuff. But like Appalachia's got it worse too. Like I honestly I don't even know where like the whole Alabama like inbred stuff came from, because like from what I've seen, a lot of that stuff comes from Appalachia.
Beards and live off the land, and you've got yourself what the internet calls a feral human. There are plenty of mountain men who live up in the hills to this day, and I know some people that live in the backwoods that really never come out. And they have the choice. Rather than conforming to modernity, they choose to live out there.
Yep, they
That's
choose
okay.
to live
Another
amongst the
part of
trees.
feral human argument, and it's talking about on the internet, is that as unfortunate as it is, some families in Appalachia are isolated in the hills. And
They are, yeah.
Can't get out. They don't have access to clean food and to education. So instead, they live a life of solitude, not by choice, but because they have to. So at some point,
And that's
you have
always
to
the sad
pause
part about it.
question to yourself, which of us is really the feral human? The ones who live in nature, the ones who harvest their own food, build their own shelter, the ones that can live off the land, or is it the ones that live and work and die in a cardboard box, obsessed with politics and whatever the man says? Now, I'm not arguing for either one of those. You can have your choice of whatever you want to do in this country.
I mean, like, a
You
good
can
balance
or
of the
something like
two,
that. And there's definitely
like,
a balance that you can
yeah, like having like a good balance of the two is always healthy. Like, if you ever get the opportunity, like for those who stream and all that, right? So for those who stream and all that, like, it's always good to take breaks. It's always good to like go outside and take breaks and stuff like that, because you could be that way. You like, isolation can make you go incredibly crazy. I know that because I have struggled with isolation throughout my entire life. Even like, you know, sit there and say, oh well, Grarl, you know, you're surrounded by people all the time. Like you chat with other people. Yeah, but at the same time, I'm chatting with other people inside of a box. I'm chatting. Hi Piper, how you doing? But yeah, no, like I'm chatting with people inside of a box. I'm chatting with, the only interaction I get is with, you know, a screen basically. Like you're basically like people who live in modernity also at I don't know why this is gonna get really fucking deep, but like people who live in modernity also have like an isolation issue as well, because we have literally history going back thousands of years at our fingertips. We have the world at our fingertips. If we want to sit there and say like, you know, I want to go to Japan, well, I could type up Japan, but at the same time, you're also in a box. You're also in a box. You're also like isolated. Like we're no, like I guess in a weird way you could say like we're no better than the people that isolate themselves in the forest. But I don't know where I'm getting with this. I don't know why like I got so really fucking deep with this whole conversation. Hang on real quick. Let me give Piper a shout out as well. But yeah, no, I don't know what I was going with this one. I don't know why I got so fucking deep. I'm gonna be real, because normally I'm just the goofy goober, you know, T-Rex who likes to talk about, you know, plastic toy robot dinosaurs and stuff like that. But like, no, like this actually kind of like got me like, kind of got my brain a jogging a little bit. And yeah, no, like, and like I was saying, is that and like I was saying, yeah, you got like people who like in both situations, like one isolation is worse, like you have the feral humans who live out in the woods that have zero isolation of like any other humans. You know, they don't talk to anybody, but they're living off the land. Like they're living their best life. But then you got like people who like us who live in comfort, who, you know, have the world at their fingertips, who have like information that goes like back thousands of years. Just suddenly we have it at our fingertips, and we could, you know, talk to anyone in the world. But for a lot of us, we're just isolated. We feel lonely and we feel isolated. So again, it kind of looks at us like, well, who has it worse? Who's the more isolated? The ones who live out in the woods, not really talking to a soul, and they're just out here doing their best? Or is it those who are a slave to modernity, who have to go and grind until we die and or is it our own man-made loneliness that is truly like the worst hell?
Strike between the two. But all I'm saying
This got
is that
really fucking
perspective
deep.
matters immensely when talking about feral humans and the idea
This got
that men
really
and women
fucking deep.
are not in society and they choose to live out almost as wild animals of the field. We seem crazy to them and they seem out there to us. So I can only imagine the discourse.
Yeah, because like to us, those feral humans, we see them as crazy because it's like, well, they're speaking in gibberish and they're talking to the trees or they're talking to the sky or they're talking to a deer. But to these feral humans, we're also they see us as kind of crazy too, because like we're sitting here like trying to outdo each other over the smallest things, wearing the most ridiculous outfits, and then we come home and then we just talk to a box. We talk to a box. I mean, shit. You know, you're communicating with a cartoon character on like some magical, you know, voodoo to these people basically. So it's just like who's actually crazy.
That would happen if we just sat down and talked about it. And just like regular society, there are bad mountain men. There are bad feral people that steal things and do things. And I'm sure, you know, if they're looking at our society from the outside, they see, well, these people are supposed to be civilized, yet they are still committing crimes and stealing and hurting people actively. What I want to express mostly by this video and why I created it to begin with is that these creatures, these beings, these evil entities, feral humans, not deer, wendigos, skinwalkers, all of these harbingers of death, right? They all are said to live in the Appalachian Mountains from the internet. They don't have to be real to be scary. Like I said at the very beginning of the video, there are monsters in the woods, just not these. The real monsters are the people who take advantage of this place. Those who used it for their gain and then upped and left when things got hard. The company towns, the coal companies, the timber logging companies, the railroad companies, and local governments that oppress their people and deny them what they deserve. These are the real evils in the Appalachian Mountains, people. I love a good spooky story as much as you.
Because like, you have to understand like just how exploitive a lot of these companies were, like especially things like timber and the coal industry. Oh yeah, no, you are nothing more than an expendable little cog made out of tin. You fucking crack and crumble, they'll just throw you away and replace you with another one. And then when the resources are dried up, or they find another source of energy, well, you're shit out of luck. There goes the schools, there goes, you know, your employment, there goes everything. And these corporations do not care.
In fact, I built an entire career telling spooky stories. I love them. But in this specific case, it's cliche, I know, but the reality of the situation is much scarier than
the reality is the real monster.
Now, I love going out in the woods here at nighttime and hearing the coyotes scream like devils and weird branches snapping and rocks rolling down the hills. It's scary.
And you know, and it's not to sit there and say like there are like things out in the woods that you cannot explain. Oh, absolutely. There are a lot of things out there in the woods that are in the Appalachian Mountains that you probably cannot explain. That's true. But I don't think there are things like not deer and romanticized versions of wendigos. No, like he mentioned earlier, like I said earlier, the real monsters are the people that use the locals and then just up and left when things dried up. And leaving these people out here to suffer.
Nice to have a little fright. But the beasts like the not deer and the feral humans and the Bigfoot, they all live in the unknown. Which that is what Appalachia is to most people. It is the unknown. It's the gray area they don't know much about. Or at least they haven't experienced it firsthand. But for those of us who are lucky enough to grow up here, we know all of this. We know the stories. We know the legends. We know that we got told these scary things just so we wouldn't go out and get lost in the woods. We know that something's probably out there watching us. Whether it's a hawk or whether it's a coyote or whether it's a bear. We know that.
Or a mountain lion.
We also know that life is old here. It's older than the trees, like John Denver said. And these
hell, it's older than the
today,
dinosaurs.
and you and I, we're all a part of it. It's all one big conglomeration, whether we like it or not. And we don't get to choose it, but people tend to fear what they don't know.
Correct.
But I know myself that it is beautifully terrifying to be in the...
Because, like, humans, like, we have our little monkey brains set up to hardware to where it's like, we will recognize human as friend, like human friend. But if you see snake, you're like, oh, kill snake, because we're genetically hardwired to look at a snake and go, oh, that might kill us, or shit, you know, I don't know, like maybe like a crocodile or something like that, and be like, oh, big scary water lizard, go kill. But human, no, human friend. Like, we will instantly kind of put our guard down when another human like shows up. But like, that's just our instinct. But then again, like, we'll put our guard up once we sense something that, oh, maybe something's not right with this person, or well, I'm just getting a bad feeling from this person.
Woods of Appalachia at nighttime or anytime alone walking through. I don't need a skinwalker or a Bigfoot to scare me. I know the ancientness of these hills. I know the wisdom these trees possess.
I'm sorry, like, this got really fucking deep.
And I know that it's home. And if it's home to me, it can be home to feral people. And it can be home to
I'm so sorry. This actually got, like, way too deep than it needed to be.
The beauty of it all. So who knows if any of these creatures are real? Who knows? They might be, they might not be. Have some...
Like I said, I'm so sorry that this got, like, really fucking deep. I normally like to talk about, you know, toys and, like, goofy, nerdy shit, but, like, sometimes it's just nice to talk about, like, deep topics like this.
Whimsy in your life and have some fun with it, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, stay till the end. You're a real one, and I appreciate you. If you want to support what I'm doing here on the Spookly channel, leaving a like is the best way to do that. It helps the video. It's free. Helps me out and all that stuff, too. You can also leave a comment if you have anything to say.
Yeah, give this guy
subscribe if you want
check this guy out.
Free. I upload here a couple times a month, and I'm really trying to make these videos more grandiose. I'm trying to travel more and explore more and do all that kind of stuff. And I want to
give this guy a follow. So if you ever get the chance, like, check out his channel.
This was such a fun video to make. As you can tell, I love making videos about where I'm from.
Okay, so we're just gonna stop it there. But yeah, I deeply apologize that things got a little too real. I'm so sorry things got a little too fucking real with that kind of stuff. Like I said, normally I don't usually go into, like, the super, like, deep, real, like, subjects like that. I'm usually the goofy, like, hee hoo hoo, you know, funny dino man, talk about nerdy shit, you know, tee hee hee hee, it's funny. But no, sometimes it's just nice that I could just, like, talk about, like, deeper subjects like this. And I would love to talk more about that kind of stuff, like, later on. Or in, like, you know, future videos and stuff like that. But what we're going to do is that we're going to go say hi to Damien, who is playing Jurassic World 3. It just launched today, and I know he's super excited about this. But yeah, so tomorrow we're gonna be playing some games. Let me look at my schedule real quick. What am I playing tomorrow? So I am going to be playing Monster Hunter Wilds. There we go. A little bit of a breather from, like, this whole thing, yes, from today. But yes, so anyway, guys, we're all gonna go say hi to Damien, and I will see you all tomorrow for some Monster Hunter. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.